Hey everyone, you're listening to the official podcast of 4playernetwork.com. Check us out at that address for everything you need to know about our community, monthly giveaways, and nightly live streams. You can even support us on Patreon at patreon.com/4player. And last but not least, you can catch the live recordings of these podcasts every single Thursday night on our Twitch channel. We hope to see you there. Enjoy. Welcome to 4Player Podcast. This is episode 575. My name is Nick Henderson. I am joined this evening by Brad Simons.
Hello.
Nolan Hedstrom.
How's it going, everybody?
Christopher Guthridge.
Oh, hello.
And joining... Wait, what's wrong?
Nothing.
Something wrong? And of course, Christopher Davis is on the fifth mic. Say hello, Chris Davis.
Hello.
Oh, God.
Try again, Chris Davis.
Unmute me. Now, hi. How you doing?
All right, cool. All right, so first of all, thank you guys for being here. If you're watching us live on twitch.tv/4playerpodcast, we have a few things to bring up in housekeeping. One of which being, if you are watching us live, don't forget to tune in on Saturday, this coming Saturday, that's in 2 days, at noon. We're going to be doing our Halloween Spooktacular.
Did you get my text, Nick?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
We got some PSVR horror games as well.
Yeah, so we reached out to everybody in the community and in Patreon and in Discord and tried to get some ideas and suggestions. You guys had a bunch of ideas that you threw at us, and we've kind of curated a list, a pretty good sized list, I think, of horror games, a bunch of which are playable in VR. We're going to be streaming from noon to midnight at the very least. On Saturday, we're going to be doing nothing but playing horror games all day long, so it should be fun. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. I'm going to be updating the calendar tonight and posting a pretty comprehensive list of some of the stuff you should expect to see. There's some high-profile stuff in there. Of course, we're going to be playing one. I think one of the big ones is Visage, which is going around right now as being a pretty big deal as far as horror goes. So you'll see that, plus a bunch of VR stuff that we kind of poked around and looked up, did some research on tonight. So it should be a fun time.
Plenty of stupid shit that's way scarier than it probably should be.
Yeah, exactly. There's a few things on there that I think are free that we're gonna be playing. Maybe some more bite-sized experiences, but it should be a really fun day. So come and hang out with us on, again, that's Saturday the 20th, starting at noon, and we'll be live all day long until at least midnight, maybe a little bit later than that. Who knows? We'll see what happens, but we hope to see you guys there. Also, as a reminder, our supporter spotlight for the month of October. For supporting us on Patreon is KNC Cito, and in the second segment we're going to be reading his top 5 games of all time, a game that he wanted, an underrated game that he wanted to recommend to the community. So stick around for that. Other than that, we have feedback to go through. We have lots of games to talk about. Brad's going to talk about Astro Bot. We're going to talk a little bit about Call of Duty Black Ops 4, some Assassin's Creed. Got a bunch of stuff. So why don't we get right to it? Chris Davis, if you could pull up the feedback, we'll get straight through that. Not a whole lot of it this week, which is actually probably a good thing because we do have a lot to talk about tonight.
And we're only 50 minutes late.
We're only 50 minutes late getting started.
20 minutes.
All right, so our first comment... Oh, there's still one above that. Okay, so our first comment this week comes from the Scud Destroyer. He says, "This is stupid, but here it goes. I don't want to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Not because I think I won't enjoy it, but because I don't want damage in the thousands... I don't want damage in the thousands and bosses who are sponges. I stopped playing Assassin's Creed after 4, and while I'd like to make time to go and play Unity, Rogue, and Syndicate, now it seems the time has passed. And with Red Dead Redemption 2 coming, I cannot foresee myself having much time to jump into another open-world game for some time."
I will say...
yeah, go for it, bro.
I do hate... Like, I'm the guy who always turns on damage numbers. If there's damage numbers, I am hyped. I kind of hate the damage numbers in Odyssey. They're way too high.
I turned off the damage numbers themselves.
I don't like it in an Assassin's Creed game. I mean, that's kind of like the whole point of an assassin is you sneak up and you...
And that's one thing. That's one thing I wanted to bring up this week.
20,000.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I would say to that Scud Destroyer that I don't know how Unity is now that I'm sure it's had plenty of patches done on it. I will say if you do play Unity, try and play it with friends because that was kind of the only thing that...
Oh, I forgot that has co-op in it.
Krispy, you played some with me, some other community members. That's kind of the only way that game even worked was just because I had fun playing it with friends.
Was that co-op through the story?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I completely forgot about that.
Rogue is pretty good. Syndicate's pretty. I mean, they're not horrible games. And I would say, yeah, probably don't play them right before Red Dead 2 comes out. But since they're all older games, you can generally get those games for pretty cheap.
Yeah,
honestly,
we're actually going to talk about Rogue tonight too.
Unity, you can get it for like fucking pennies. Like I swear, I see that game all the time for pennies. And Scud, if you have an Xbox One, I think I might have a Unity code laying around here somewhere.
Oh, shit.
I'll throw your way if you have an Xbox
He
One.
doesn't have an Xbox.
I know that's why I have that, was because it was given to me.
Nobody has Xbox One.
But anyway,
I threw away.
Oh.
I threw away a code for Gears of War like remastered or whatever on the Xbox One. And this is when I still had my Xbox One. I had it for a long time, and I was just like, nah, and I threw it in the trash.
Oh, man.
it's not even worth it.
You didn't even offer it to our lovely patrons.
Mm.
You're the worst, Brad.
No.
You're the worst. I will
No
say
one
this
has
about
Xbox.
about the damage numbers. I turned that off. I completely forgot there's even damage numbers
Yeah.
in Odyssey because it's one of the options. You can just turn it off. But I will say this, especially if you're trying to play like the assassin's tree or the assassin's build route. It is starting for me I'm about like 32, 33 hours in. It's starting to get frustrating with the number of times I want to go in for a kill, like a quick assassination kill, and I'm not strong enough to do it. Like it said, instead of saying assassinate, it just gives me like a heavy attack option, and then I know it's only going to do a certain amount of damage.
Yeah.
So you kind of lose out on that experience of getting like these clean assassination kills, unless you like mainline the game, level up a shit ton, and then go back and do like all the assassinate all the cultists, which I think is what I'm going to be doing now.
That was one of the best things about the older Assassin's Creed games, was literally not running, not doing some crazy parkour thing, but walking through a crowd, slipping out, stabbing a dude, and then slipping back into a crowd of people and walking away.
Yeah.
That was one of the things I fucking loved about that game.
Yeah. And honestly, this game in particular kind of gets away from that. We'll talk about Odyssey more in a few minutes.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next question. This one's a quick one. Drew327 just says Scott middle names unite, because my name is Scott. I guess that's Drew's as well. Cool.
My nephew's middle name is Scott.
Ah, yeah.
Also, F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Oh.
Good company.
Ridley Scott,
What
director.
What did F stand for?
Franklin.
Frank.
Francis.
Francis. Scott
Francis sounds
Fitzgerald?
right. I would buy
Yeah.
Francis. Yeah.
Francis.
And Tobley has our last bit of feedback tonight. He says, Nick mentioned how he had come to view the episodic model negatively, which is to some extent understandable when the hefty wait times people who play them sometimes have to endure. One thing I appreciate about this model is that it paces games differently. Often when I play an ordinary single-player game, unless I'm completely enthralled, I am sometimes a bit too aware of the way the scope of the game narrows towards the end. I don't know if I was meaning to make like an umbrella statement about the episodic games being, not preferring them, but there's just some situations where just the style of game I think is more conducive to being episodic. And I think
to an extent, it depends on the type of game. Yes.
Yeah.
So something that is explicitly like a Telltale game, a story-driven game, it's not bad because you're constantly there for the story. Something like Hitman, where the story only takes up like 5% of the gameplay.
Yeah.
Like the Hitman, like the episodic one that came out a few years ago, there was a story to that.
Yeah.
Can anyone tell me what that story was? No. Yeah, like at the beginning of every shut up, Chris Davis. At the beginning of every episode and at the end of every episode, there's a bit of story. But because like 95% of the time you're playing it, you're in that middle section where the story's irrelevant. Like it just doesn't stick with you.
But also, and this is like I think to the detriment of just the reason why you got to be real careful what you pick and like what you choose to make episodic is like look at Hitman. If you look at the numbers from episode to episode, you can. It's really easy to see just the drop off, like the number of people who aren't willing to go back a month or two after the game comes out. Like and the same thing goes with just when DLC comes out.
I
for
will
games.
say
like, how
that
many people actually go back and follow through on playing DLC for a lot of games.
The last episode of Hitman that was in Japan was really good. I will say that much.
Don't get me wrong. I'm very excited. The thing is, like, I think I'm actually going to play Hitman this year because of the fact that it's not episodic.
Because it's gonna be fucking good. That's why.
That's true too.
Hopefully it's good.
I mean, the last Hitman game I played was Blood Money, and I only got about halfway through.
That's the best.
I'm excited about the new one just because I could just play it all at once.
Yeah.
Pretty excited. That's a game I keep forgetting it's coming out before the end of the year. Holy shit. Anyway,
But
so
my sleep schedule sure is going to take a hit.
oh god. Oh my god, Nolan. You can derail my train of thought so easily just by making terrible jokes like that. All right. First of all, thanks to everybody who wrote in. If you have anything you want to say after tonight's episode, head on over to 4playernetwork.com, leave us a comment on the post for this episode, and we will read it and respond to it at the beginning of the next show. So let's get into it. Brad, I want to hear from you first.
Okay.
Because you've been playing a game I'm very interested in playing. I think we're all going to try and get around to playing it this year.
Did you bring that over, Brad?
Well, I'm not done with the game.
Thanks.
I gotta finish it.
You can finish it by Saturday?
No. But probably by next podcast. Because I've been playing Astrobot Robot Rescue?
No, Astrobot Rescue Mission.
There's no robot in the name.
Astrobot Rescue Mission. But you are rescuing robots. So this is the new hot PSVR exclusive. This is developed by an internal Sony team at Japan Studio. Studio Japan. Japan Studio. Their internal team. You know, they make like... they made Puppeteer, which I loved.
Puppeteer was good.
They used to make... and they assist with a lot of internal projects. They're kind of like the Sony Santa Monica of Japan, if you will. But this is the new... Huh?
Please don't tell me the footage is not working.
No, it's XSplit that's not working.
XSplit crashed.
Nope.
Oh, it's working.
Did
Kind
we
of.
run through the footage? Wow. Are we working? No. Oh, we're working.
That's bizarre.
Okay.
Oh, man. Anyways, I guess try and push through it.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
I've been playing... This is an incredible game.
Do we need to pause it for a second?
From the looks of it. Yeah, let's pause it.
Just start talking about Astrobot.
Astrobot
Wait.
Robot Rescue Mission.
Holy God, we're back.
What is it called?
Astrobot Rescue Mission.
Astrobot Rescue Mission, the hot new PSVR title that people cannot stop talking about it because this is a brand new, I would say, definitive must-own VR experience. I have not been this enthusiastic about a VR game since I made y'all all play Super Hot VR, and I'm like, no, trust me, you just got to play it. And this is one of those games. This is one of those games, you're going to be looking at the footage, you're going to be like, this seems fine, right? It's a little platformer, a little Mario-esque, whatever, Crash Bandicoot-esque. But once you're in there, it is a sight to behold. This is a game that is exactly the kind of thing that developers should be doing with VR. It's not like, hey...
Did you just blow on that flower?
Yeah. I didn't even know there was a microphone in the PSVR, but apparently there was, and it blew my mind. Actually, the first time I did it, I was a little weirded out. I didn't know what was going on. But, yeah, so this is one of those games that not only... So this is one of those games that I think is going to maybe make developers think a little bit different about what VR can be, because it's not like a game that just has VR tacked on, and it's not like one of those short little disposable things that you see from a lot of VR developers, like arena shooters or like...
Yeah, like it seems like they're all like just proof of concepts. Like
yeah,
almost.
Exactly. This is like a full-blown platformer designed around the VR, and I'm telling you right now, it is fucking brilliant. It's going to be hard to tell from the footage, but once you're in there, we've all played VR. You got to understand the sense of scale is a huge deal.
I will say that, yeah, the toughest thing with VR footage is it never looks as good as it does when you're in the VR.
I mean, that's a fucking understatement.
Yeah.
Especially in something like this, because the big thing about this game is that you're kind of in the world with that little robot that you're...
By the way, I think it's important to mention this is also... the character you play as in this game is the same character that was used in the VR Playroom.
Correct.
Which was we played that when we had the VR.
But I feel like when you
event.
say that, it's just like scary, right? Because it's like that just seems like some lame VR Sony PSVR mascot.
And that was the PS4 launch night stream
Yeah.
that we did.
when all the robots went up my butt.
Don't whatever you do not let that scare you away from this, making you think that this is not a quality game, because this is the kind of thing where, like, if Nintendo was putting this shit out, people would be losing their goddamn minds, which, already people are losing their minds for this. This is the highest rated VR game across any platform of all time. This is and it's not
Is it better than Mario Tennis on the Virtual Boy?
I think it's better than Mario Odyssey. so the thing is, you're in the world with him. So you play a big robot, and I'm wondering if I ever look down or like show my shadow or whatever. You're essentially the camera. You're this big robot who has a PS4 controller, and you control the little robot, like you would, like a regular platformer. And the controls are kind of simplistic. You can jump, you can hover in the air, and you can attack. You can charge up your attack and do a spin attack, and that's pretty much it for the controls of the little guy. But the true success of this game is the game changer that it is when you're in the environment and you're the camera. The objective in each of these stages is to like find all the hidden robots and rescue them. That right there was a chameleon. Each stage has a chameleon that are just kind of in weird places, and if you just look at them for long enough, they appear and you unlock a bonus a challenge level. So you want to try to find all the chameleons, and those challenge levels are actually like pretty cool, like little challenge missions, so you always want to try to find that. But the main thing you're doing is you're listening for these other little robots who are like chirping or like help, like what I hear him. I'm wearing like surround kind of headphones, and you can hear directionally where these things are, and you're looking around this environment, and you're like, where the fuck is it? And again, when you're just looking at footage of this, you're not getting that effect like as much as you are when you're in this, which is why, like with Super Hot VR, you're just gonna have to try.
I mean, VR in general, I think when it's done right,
VR in general,
it's a sensory experience.
There's something magical going on here, though. It's the kind of thing where it makes you like. I wish all platformers were like this. That was the feeling I got when I'm playing Super Hot VR, and it's like, why would I ever want to play a shooter that doesn't play like this? Because I feel like I'm in it. And in here, you feel like you're in the world, and there's this beautiful little world around you, and you're controlling this character through it. And you also do like fun interactions with the controllers and stuff, like you create zip lines, and your character is like walking on it and like bouncing on it, and you're interacting with the character and the world.
So just out of curiosity, because I feel like your response to this is very similar to kind of the reaction I had when I played Moss. Because
I think
you
Moss,
are in the world.
The Moss is a similar effect, but Moss is a lot more stationary kind of.
I mean, I feel like Moss is a little bit smaller in scale, but the appeal is still the same in that you are part of the world. You're right. You're not. It's not a first person game per se.
Correct.
You are the camera being able to look around the world and control a character in that 3D space while being able to look around freely.
Correct.
Which is a really cool feeling.
The effect, the cool effect you get from playing Moss is similar to how it is here, but I guess, I mean, here you're specifically like looking for things in the environment, and they do a lot of cool things with perspective.
Yeah.
Like you're there's like cool platforming challenges where like the guy's like way up in the air, like above you and stuff, and you're like looking through the bottom of a glass platform, and like really cool shifts. Like I posted a short little clip on Twitter, which again, hard to understand the effect when you're just looking at the video footage, but I was just playing through one of these levels, and I just turned to my left, and all of a sudden there was this plant was like in my face, like this giant, like a beanstalk or whatever, and I see like a hole in it, and I look through that hole, and I see stuff in that hole, and then I run my little robot around the back, and all of a sudden I'm doing platforming stuff
in the hole,
like inside this beanstalk, but I'm looking through the hole, and I'm like twisting around, and I'm seeing stuff, and it's hard to describe the effect, but it's amazing, which is why, like with Super Hot VR, I just have to like put the shit on your head, make you play one of these levels, and then you'll understand. Yeah. Then you'll fucking understand how remarkable this shit is.
It's interesting that they chose to go with a like a Mad Catz or a Pelican style control.
It's like there's like a transforming
considering it is a first-party game.
I know. It's just, when you look at it, it does not look at a DualShock 4. It looks like an off-brand.
It's specifically
I know. It's like a robot.
When you first start up the game, you see the regular PS4 controller, and then there's a transforming thing where it transforms into this controller. Like I heard that guy up there. Like the sense of like looking way up that cliff is way different than it is in the footage. It seemed so high up.
Yeah.
Which is this effect that you don't get in other platforms.
I mean, verticality from the beginning is creating that sense of verticality is by far my favorite thing about
We've
VR.
talked about it before, like when we did the
This is the crazy
not
thing.
Rondo, but whatever the Rush of Blood.
Yeah.
It's like
just,
that.
It's on rails, and you're watching someone play it, and you can kind of see how it would be in VR. But one of the effects you don't get is when the tram goes through like a building almost, like from looking inside.
There's the big mouth.
Yeah,
right,
the
that you go
building
through.
looks like, maybe it's like 15 feet tall, but when you're in the game, it looks like it's fucking 100 feet tall. It's
Yeah.
like just like the scale
It's
is
so
so
cool.
big.
This looks so. I gotta say, outside of VR, this looks like I'm fucking playing Knack or something. You guys gotta play this fucking game, and you gotta trust me like you did with Super Hot. You have to trust me.
Well,
you all got to play this game.
We did secure a copy for the
Yes,
site.
yes,
For that
and I
particular
expect
reason.
all of y'all to play this game. And there was a demo. There was a demo for this game, but it was not even a demo. It was like it came out with the demo disc that like launched with the PSVR.
Correct.
That had a bunch of little
Yes.
like proof of concepts, little tech demos and stuff. And one of them was like a single
Dude,
level,
and it was
very
pretty
similar
good.
to this. And when I first played that, like I was like, oh my god. Carlos was over and was like, Carlos, you need to try this. This is actually really cool. Like this feels like a game changer. This feels like I have not had an experience in video games that's even remotely like this. And this is what this is the kind of stuff that makes me hope that VR is not a fad, that it never goes anywhere, because I can't have this experience outside of VR. This game is like kind of nothing without the VR.
Sure.
And you're not getting that sense from just looking at this footage. It just looks like a solid platformer. But I'm telling you,
I think it's important.
It's amazing. They do a lot of like weird stuff to like remind you that you're in this world. Like there's this underwater stage, I think it was, and when I came out of the water, I had seaweed on my head, and you could see the seaweed like little dreads hanging down in front of your face.
Yeah.
And it's like it was, and then I looked around and I saw my shadow, and I had like little seaweed dreads, and it was just like this cool, charming, wonderful thing. Like I'm telling you, my heart is like bursting for this game.
How long?
You guys
how
gotta
much
try
have you played this so far? I'm just curious. I'm curious as to like how
I'm
much
on
content
the
there
third
is.
world. I've played through. I think there's 5 worlds, and I've played a few hours. I mean, it feels meaty. There's also like every stage has a bonus unlockable challenge that unlocks if you find that chameleon as well.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of those, and those feel like some of them are kind of like speed runs. Some of them are just like challenges that focus on a very specific mechanic or whatever. And like you see me looking around, and it's because I'm like actually wowed here. I don't get much into this stage, but like it's.
I mean, I think it's really important, especially for the future of VR, that like they have these like really well-defined experiences. Like I think anybody who's interested in VR, once you find
that looks like nothing, right?
Yeah.
Looking down that in VR is incredible.
once you find that experience that speaks to you in VR, it's hard to not get excited about the prospect of playing VR.
Which is crazy.
Like, for me, like your enthusiasm sounds like the way I felt when I first played Resident Evil 7. Like I don't feel like I could ever like that changed the way I looked at an entire genre of games.
But the thing is, that game is a game that's very much designed to also be out of VR.
Yeah.
This is a game that doesn't work unless you're in VR.
But also, I feel like there's something to be said. I mean, I know it's great to feel like the game needs VR to be good, but I think there's also something to be said about like an experience that is amazing in VR, but can also be enjoyed by people who don't have, who maybe,
Sure,
you know, there's always
This
always gonna be those people out there who can't enjoy VR because it makes them nauseous.
Sure.
You know, that kind of thing. So like,
Oh, but since this is not like a first person game, you will not get nauseous playing this.
Some people still might.
It's very
there are varying degrees of like motion
technically
sickness.
it is first person, but
Yeah.
you're not moving yourself as you're playing the game. You're moving this character. I mean, you're not moving your character. You're moving the little character. Well, I mean, I am someone who's somewhat susceptible to motion sickness.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't really do Resident Evil 7 in VR when I
Yeah.
did finally try it in VR, but this is not even remotely problematic.
You do need to try Moss too if you haven't. Have you tried that game
I
before?
have Moss right now.
Oh,
I
okay.
got it from GameFly. I'm gonna try that. I have played Moss before. I
think you'll
played
be-
the demo. It is a very similar effect, but it hasn't wowed me. Like, I mean, you got to play this
I mean,
game.
Moss is also seems like there's a lot more going on in this, I think, than there is in Moss. Like everything in Moss is pretty simple and straightforward, and this seems like there's a lot of stuff happening on screen at any given time. This also seems like it has the variety of like Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, or it feels
or
like
good
a
Mario
like
game.
a Galaxy game or whatever. And there's a lot of like it's the thing is you talk to when you talk about a VR game, there are certain people who just don't even remotely care about VR and don't want you to talk about it, and then there's the people who just haven't tried it yet and they just don't get it yet. But trust me, trust the reviews. Like this is living up to the VR hype.
This is
You'll
a game.
have to try
This is
this.
absolutely looks like it's probably the go-to game that you would want to show someone who wants to know about VR.
Yeah, exactly.
Up there with
exactly.
super hot.
Yes.
For sure. Cool. Well, I'm very much looking
Y'all
forward
all
to.
promise to at least try this thing.
Yeah,
before
I'm
the end of the
sure
year?
Nolan's probably gonna play it after you
Fucking
finish
give it to me, bruh.
and then I
My
definitely want to
VR
play
is literally set up and ready to go.
I will play it after. I'll probably wait and play it last unless you finish it, Nolan, and Krispy's not ready for it yet or something.
I'll fucking
If
plow
Krispy is
through
indeed interested in playing Astrobot Rescue Mission.
I hate robots.
Oh,
it.
okay.
Oh, of course.
I'm actually getting that game for my roommate for his birthday.
Wait,
You're
wait.
getting this. Your roommate has a PSVR.
Yeah, he bought one.
Oh, shit.
Cool.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is that
So everyone's
it's just
gonna
going to
play
be me and Brad passing the VR back and forth, and I just need
Well,
to buy
hey,
a
less
VR.
people, the better.
I'll just buy a VR, and then that'll just become Brad's VR headset.
Thanks.
All right, let's move on. Krispy.
No.
All right, no, I'm just kidding. Krispy.
Crispy, you have the biggest game of the year. Talk about it, homie.
I am genuinely curious about this because I want to play a Battle Royale game. I want to try this game. How does Call of Duty Black Ops 4?
This doesn't have a campaign. You're not gonna play this.
I
Yeah,
know.
Yeah. So, yeah, before
I
I,
could
talk
Redbox
about
it.
Blackout, let me specify that, yes, there is no single-player campaign in this
Yeah.
game. I've played the multiplayer, and it's fucking terrible.
Is it?
Like, it's
but is it terrible in that you like? It's just like it
It's
feels
just
like
like-
every other Call of
dude,
Duty game
I mean,
ever made, or what?
No, I mean, like, here's the thing. I've been playing with, like, my roommate and his friends who are Call of Duty players,
Yeah.
and, like, they won't play the multiplayer
Holy
anymore.
shit!
Yeah. Like Call of Duty World War II had something nice in that, like, it was still that really frantic, frenetic, like, Call of Duty action, but, like, the maps were big and
Yeah.
interesting, and there was a lot of, like, space and a lot of kind of, like,
Yeah, 'cause I remember
variety
you
of
talking about playing
encounters.
World War II last year, and you were actually fairly
I really
positive
liked
about
World War II.
Yeah.
And then all the maps and, like, the game types in the multiplayer for this one are just, like, really tiny, really windy, real
it. Uninspired.
yeah,
maybe?
it's just like it's just not great. And then like the single player component is non-existent. It's basically like you've got bot matches that you play as different operators, which are the multiplayer characters you play
Yeah.
as.
They're like tutorials, basically.
And the whole story is just told through cutscenes. So like as you play more of these bot matches or do other things, you unlock new cutscenes that like expand individual character stories. But like it is coming from a series that had like, you know, the Modern Warfare 2 campaign, the Black Ops campaign, like
Yeah.
it is a huge fucking cop out.
And you know what's it's strange because
This
like,
is essentially $60 for Blackout and zombies. And I
Yeah.
play a little bit of zombies. It's okay. It's not really my thing. It's just a little too chaotic for me. I never know what's going on. So like the last week I've been playing this game, and 95% of my time has been spent right here on Blackout. Oh,
Yeah.
this guy has a gun, and I'm gonna punch him to death. Watch this.
Which is,
I need a gun.
I
Give me your
think,
gun.
95% of your time, but also I think 95% of the players are probably going to be playing
Dude, that
this
is
as well.
absolutely probably true.
and you know what? Like it's
This is such a weird shift because
Most of the
I
people
think
I've
they're
met-
killing their own multiplayer,
Kind
which
of.
is what has made them so successful over the past decade.
Most of the
I mean, I wouldn't
randoms I've met randoms playing this game that like I've added on my friends list and,
Yeah.
and like squatted up with, and none of them play the multiplayer. They only play Blackout.
man, it sounds.
So what happens when the Battle Royale fad dies and then no one cares about regular multiplayer anymore? What are people going to do?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, what if this is like what like
I don't know.
like let's just say
I don't think
theoretically.
this fad's gonna die anytime soon.
Well, I mean,
think
let's
it's
just
gonna
say
be around for a while.
Let's just say theoretically, next year we get another Call of Duty game that has a single player campaign. They go back to trying to do the classic campaign. Like, what if Blackout? Like, what if Battle Royale is just the new multiplayer?
That
for
is
Call of
that is
Duty?
what the
Yeah.
that just
I mean,
happened.
that-
I mean, that's kind of what's going on here.
yeah.
I mean, it just seems to me like people. I mean, the thing is, there's only so many ways that you can kind of riff on doing a competitive first-person shooter multiplayer, which is, you know, and people have
Well, for the longest
enjoyed it
time,
for
it's
so
always
long.
been the same thing. It's a bunch of people on a map. You shoot each other.
Well-
one team wins or one guy's left alive. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean,
very
they were at least
basically,
trying
but
like
there
new
were,
modes.
There
and
were
stuff.
different styles. Like Call of Duty was its own kind of distinct style for
Yeah.
a while. You know,
Sure.
it had like that was the one that was the very like quick, frenetic, like low health multiplayer for a
Yes.
long time.
And they were trying new things like where you have to pick up the thing on the corpse to actually get your kill and stuff. What was that called?
Kill confirm.
Kill
They
confirm.
still do that.
Like
Yeah.
they were testing new modes, but I feel like Battle Royale was such this specific thing. You know,
I think
you're
you can-
parachuting
you
down
know-
to an island, get the resources, so that the fact that everybody's copying it,
What's
you
really
start to
weird
worry about
is
originality.
that it feels like the multiplayer component in this game is chasing, of all things, Destiny. Because they've kind of like adopted, they've got a lot of like the same game modes that Destiny has. The way the operators work, they all have this like, and I played Call of Duty World War II last year. That's the last Call of Duty I've played since like the original Black Ops.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't have a lot of experience with the multiplayer, so maybe this has been around for a while. But the way that the Black Ops 4 multiplayer characters work is it's like you've got a character that has a grenade or equipment ability, and then a special. So it's kind of like the flow of it feels a lot like Destiny, where you're just trying to run around and get kills to build up your ultimate or your super or whatever.
Yeah.
Carlos
And-
is saying kind of like Siege. Did you play much Siege?
Oh, Rainbow Six Siege.
I didn't play that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just got this weird ebb and flow to it, and it's not really my thing, and it doesn't seem to be resonating much with anybody
So
I've played
tell
who
us
has
about
experience.
the good part.
But Blackout, as far as the Battle Royale games I've been playing, I think I like Blackout the best.
Quick question
Really?
before you go too far into that.
Yeah.
Because most of the Battle Royale games we've gotten so far have been kind of built around and they've built their community around like a single map, maybe two maps. How many maps are available at once? Is it just one
one.
map?
Yeah, it's
Black
Like,
Giant
so-
Man.
It's a giant map, but yeah.
well, so the thing with this type of game is it's not like you learn the map in one run or two or three or
Yeah.
four. You can play this game like 100 times and still be finding new areas.
Yeah, like we like would meet randos online, team up with them, and then they'd be like, "Yo, I really like dropping over here because there's like a helicopter when you drop there." And we had never been to that place or heard of it or anything, and it's not marked on the map. So like there's a lot. I mean, but that's common to all the battle royale. Like Fortnite has one map. They just
Yeah.
keep changing it.
I mean,
a
these
lot.
maps are designed to like. There's like 100 players, or maybe
It just
not
it
quite
just
100.
seems like, you know, if
PUBG
you're gonna
has
have that
two.
one map
Well,
map better be good.
But the
especially
point,
if you're paying
the point
$60
is, Nick,
for it.
Well, the
they're
interest-
big, and the thing is, since I'm assuming this has some sort of gas or bubble or something
Yeah,
that
yeah.
combines
Oh, yeah.
everyone, and because of that, you can't ever explore the map. You literally can only go where the random circle tells you to go.
Right.
And so I've played. Don't get me wrong, I have not played a shit ton of PUBG. I have played maybe 40 matches of
Yeah.
it. There are still places in that game I have never been, or I've been once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you feel like, but you had that, you still have that sense of excitement to see more of the map.
Oh yeah. I mean, you definitely like find your favorite places though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like you learn like what places are popular, what places are not popular, what places tend to have good loot, things like that.
What's the player count in this one at launch?
It's 100.
Okay.
It's 100. Which yeah, I mean it's pretty standard.
That's cool too. What Carlos said.
The
Wait, what did Carlos say?
You said that
the
old
map is made up of like old Call of Duty maps.
so like
Oh,
Nuketown is
Nuketown-
just in the map.
Yeah, there's an island off the coast called Nuketown. That is the Nuketown map. There's the hydro dam. There's the factory. There's construction site. Like
So they've
there's
like
all
stitched
these.
them all together?
Yeah, they stitched them together into this like cohesive place that like kind like so like you see Nuketown, and then across the bay you can see like the actual like nuclear testing facility where they're launching the nukes at Nuketown. You can see the hydroelectric dam that powers everything in the area. Which one thing about the dam, it doesn't really make sense geographically when you look at it because there's no like inlet into the actual like lake that's being dammed up. It's kind of weird. It doesn't make any sense why they build a dam there. But anyway,
Small aside.
small aside. I feel like Blackout is kind of like the perfect medium between PUBG and Fortnite.
Yeah.
Between like kind of the grittier, more realistic, detail driven stuff of PUBG and like kind of the
Cartoony
easier,
nature of
Well, like I would say the more I don't want easy. I don't know. The more like
Casual?
The more
Baby
no,
for babies. For babies.
No, I mean it's accessible, but there's a lot of like different things that this one does that the other ones don't do. I mean, they've integrated like the perk system from multiplayer into Blackout. So they're like pickups that you find on the ground and then you can activate, and they do all sorts of different things. Like you can get one called Paranoia, which will increase the range that you can like hear people, or you'll get one that lets you see all vehicles and all enemy equipment through walls. There's one that lets you like keep track of your teammates.
So that's what I was kind of saying earlier, Brad, is you say that, oh, they're all the same, but I think there's hundreds and hundreds of ways that you can vary these types of games to make them unique. I mean, Fortnite, I don't know much about Fortnite, but I know they added the whole Thanos, the
that was just a temporary event.
The Infinity Gauntlet. I understand that, but hey, that's a way that you can kind of change things up. And there are things that, Krispy was talking about, and from what limited knowledge I have of PUBG, is, we know that certain towns are good places to go because that's where good weapons spawn.
Right.
All they have to do is fucking change that around.
Sure.
Change where those weapons spawns.
It does change from match to match, too. So sometimes you'll drop somewhere that's
I'm not saying that they can't change it up. I'm saying it's still about dropping onto an island. It's still the
broad strokes
100 players. It's still a
shrinking
shrinking cage or whatever. It's like like think about like Dota or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the same map over and over and over again, and like.
But I could see them easily varying that up. What if you have, instead of 100, do 25 and it's a smaller map?
Well,
what if you do like
these
confirmed
communities
kills
are
and stuff
usually
like that?
very resistant to like big changes like that. They don't want to do new maps. They don't want to do new modes. They want to do the one fucking thing that they love. That same Dota map. That same PUBG map. I mean, like, from what I understand, new maps in PUBG
to do the
weren't
same
like
thing every time over and over again. All of a sudden, PUBG came out, and then everyone.
There's also a value proposition
Well,
here because you gotta. This is a $60 game, and and not to say it's not worth $60. It just seems kind of strange that you pay $60 to literally. Basically,
I wouldn't buy this game for $60.
I mean, a lot of people are going to pay $60 to play one map.
Yeah,
wait, like you say value proposition, but these are the kinds of games that people play hundreds and hundreds and thousands of hours.
No, I mean I get it.
That's true.
This is a very like.
But by that
look
token,
at Dota.
Like you look at games like Fortnite and you look at games like PUBG, and they don't cost $60 for what I would essentially be getting out of this game, which is just the Blackout mode.
Yeah.
So.
Well, say what you will, stuff like zombies is still there, and it is a very significant thing.
But here's the reason I'm hesitant too, because like I've played my fair amount of Call of Duty, but
like if you don't like the idea of Battle Royale, this isn't going to change your mind.
Yeah, no.
Like,
I mean,
this is
like the
straight
idea
up
of it.
Battle Royale.
I do like the idea of it. It's to me, it's just more of the.
It's kind of the finer details where like it's a lot more fun. Like the vehicle selection in this game, I think is a lot more fun. The idea that like you can just grab a helicopter.
Call of Duty that's had vehicles.
No.
When did they start adding vehicles to Call of Duty?
Call of Duty 3.
World at War or 3? Yeah.
What are they?
I think they had them in World War. No.
You're talking about Call of Duty 3, not Modern Warfare 3.
No.
Well, okay.
Yeah. The shitty one that came after 2.
But like
and World at War.
The thanks guys.
Sorry.
Thank you. The idea of like helicopters and stuff in this game is just kind of like a little thing, but it kind of makes the difference and kind of like builds these scenarios that like you can't have in PUBG and you can't have in Fortnite as easily. The perk system, that's really cool. The equipment, the ammo is all fine. It is what it is. But like other little things I like about this are things like where, like I said, that they built this map out of like kind of other maps. So some of the locations in the map are also zombie locations. So like there's a lighthouse and there's an asylum, and if you go there are zombies there.
What?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, and like you can stir up zombie nests and like get into a lot of trouble that way. And when you're in those specific locations, you can even find like zombie specific weapons. Like you can find like the carbine rifles that you use from zombies, which you can't really find anywhere else. So like there's lovely little bits of texture all over this, and controlling it's really easy and fun. They've done a lot with like player interface that I think like I think PUBG struggles a lot with player interface. I just don't like the way menus are laid out in PUBG. Going through your inventory is
That's
like
fucking Arma.
fucking
problems.
dangerous, you know?
Yeah.
And Fortnite's solution to that was just to kind of like get rid of all of it.
Yeah.
You know, like to get rid of the idea of like backpacks, you know? So like in PUBG, you have to find like different levels of backpacks to get more inventory space. In Fortnite, they don't deal with that at all. In this game, they kind of like found a middle ground where it's like you can have 4 slots or you can find a backpack and have like 10 slots, you know? So there's a nice like little middle ground between like building a need for supplies and like turning it into a fucking you know oh god, what's the word I'm looking for, like an unbearable grind just for like granular little shit. But yeah, overall I think this is probably my favorite iteration of Battle Royale that I've seen so far. It's not like blowing my mind, you know. It's not like I'm not sitting there playing it going like, oh my god, this is a revelation or anything like that.
Do you think if it was a more complete package you would maybe feel that way, like if you knew that you could take a break from this to go play like a cool like Call of Duty campaign?
That would really help, you know. Like it does feel really bare, you know, when you back out of the menu and you just have you know, multiplayer, zombies, and Blackout. You know, if I felt like, oh, I could go do something
missing?
else, if I could go do something else to kind of break it up, because these games do get a little monotonous if you sit and play them for, you know, 8 hours, which is what I've been doing.
Is there an addictive like meta progression that makes you wanna...
not at all. I mean, there are challenges. There are like things.
What do you unlock?
But they unlock calling cards. And you can unlock character skins. I don't even know how to unlock the other character skins, but they have like classic Call of Duty characters. They have the multiplayer characters. You can unlock them all, but like it all just
cosmetics.
I mean, that is the cosmetic.
Just the skins.
Yeah, it's just the skins.
But they're gonna be adding shit like that. I'm sure,
like
constantly.
I think the different skins also have like different appearances you can unlock. I don't know how to unlock any of them, and for somebody like, I love cosmetic shit, and I feel no pull towards it whatsoever in this game.
Yeah,
it's just like it just doesn't seem like a whole lot. It just doesn't seem worth it. And like the only thing I've unlocked so far, and the only thing I can see how to unlock is like calling cards, which I mean,
What is that?
Calling, it's just like a little card that is shown next to your name. Yeah,
that's lame. That might hurt like lost ability if they don't
stupid.
get something in there a little more interesting.
The thing that,
where on the spectrum is this? If on one end you have PUBG and on the other end you have Radical Heights.
Yeah, Radical Heights is just kind of like a janky version of Fortnite without the things that make Fortnite interesting.
I was trying to figure out. Okay, so you're putting PUBG at the good end of.
Just
see the thing that I would like to see from a game like this.
Radical Heights.
The thing I would like to see a game like this take from something like Fortnite is, I think Fortnite has finally like hit a stride and found a way to make like recurring community events interesting. You know, they have that whole season thing, and now every season has its own like kind of story, and there's all these like, they change the map very drastically during the course of these stories. They do these like big global events that are really weird, that build a lot of buzz. That's why that game is probably such a huge thing on Twitch now, you know. You know, things like the rocket launch and the cube and like all this shit. I would like to see Call of Duty take some of that direction and like try to build an ongoing narrative with what's going on.
I'm sure they will.
Try to like have events and try to shake things up. The core right now is very good. Is a very solid base to build off of, but it also feels very vanilla.
Yeah,
you know,
you can't just let it. You can't just let this be it. There's got to be constant. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they're gonna if they're gonna compete with, you know, the biggest game in this field right now is a free to play game that isn't rated M. You know, I think they have a lot. I think they have a lot of ground to cover to catch up.
I was really shocked because this. We didn't put this in the news, but we probably should have, because I was totally. I mean,
then just talk about it in the news.
I know Blackout is a big deal, and I know Battle Royale is a big deal, especially in terms of Call of Duty, which is before Fortnite and PUBG was kind of the biggest multiplayer shooter ever. So obviously when they said they were going to do a Battle Royale version of this, it was kind of a big deal. But then they said they're not doing the campaign. I automatically assumed they were shooting themselves in the foot, and like this was going to like come out of the gate and just fall on its face. But this game has already broken all kinds of records as far as like Call of Duty sales. It's already the best selling like game, best selling launch or the biggest launch of Call of Duty in years.
For sure. I mean, if Fortnite taught us anything, it's that when you take a really popular, maybe fatty idea, but have like a lot of money and like, you know, company behind it, then you can kind of like roll over the competition.
Yeah,
you know,
a little bit.
But like, and I think it's great. I think it's cool because I do love the idea of a battle royale. I just think that like, should it be at the cost of like the one thing that's been consistently considered to be like special about the series, which is they've always had like really exciting, fun, albeit short, campaigns.
Yeah,
to go
but I'm
with
telling you, Call of Duty is what it is, not because of those campaigns. It's because of the multiplayer.
Yeah, I guess you're probably right. But
I mean, people like those campaigns, but
although to be fair, Black Ops I think has gotten progressively worse as far as campaigns go. The only Black Ops campaign I've ever liked was the first one. The second one I didn't like at all, and the third one I couldn't.
Well, like a couple games ago, they did Infinite
looking.
Warfare or whatever it was, and apparently that campaign's like 40 hours long or something.
What?
Like the Infinite Warfare campaign is supposedly just like
it is not
a fucking epic, like is crazy huge, and it's just weird to see them go from that. Like even World War II.
But like, is it good?
I don't know, probably not.
Maybe Chris Davis has the answer to that.
I actually played through the Infinite Warfare campaign. It's probably the longest COD campaign that's ever been made. And
but they're usually like 5 hours.
But like,
well, this was like 15 hours.
Would you compare it? Would you compare like maybe longer, but would you? Is it similar in quality to everything that came before?
It's actually one of the better ones.
I think people like the
several
story.
years.
Like people are crying at the end or something.
This is a Treyarch game.
No, that was Infinity Ward.
That was the one that had it was like robots and like super advanced shit.
Like all of them had robots.
The space
planes.
Like
the idea of Infinite Warfare is like you're in a space aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
You're flying around like space jets and blowing.
So that was the one that
Game of Thrones dude in it.
That was you're thinking of World War II.
No, Jon Snow.
Jon Snow. That was World War II, wasn't it?
No.
No. What am I thinking of? Which one
You
had
know what?
Jon Snow in it?
It doesn't matter. We're Battle Royale now. It doesn't matter. We're talking about the past.
But you know,
Yeah,
I'm still
it's
like
a Battle
2 or
Royale
3 games
You
behind.
are not going to play a Call of Duty campaign.
Fuck you, Brad. I'm gonna do it.
No,
Fuck you, Brad. I'm gonna do it.
You're not.
Watch me, Brad.
And you're gonna finish Knack, and you're gonna play a Yakuza game. Fuck you, Nick.
Oh my god. SMG Starlin in chat says, "How long to beat?" Says, "Infinite Warfare main campaign clocked in at 7 hours, average 13 hours completionist."
There's a bunch of optional side missions you can go on.
Maybe it just seemed like 40 hours because that's still
You just
way
sold
longer than
20
the average.
copies of a game because people thought they were gonna get a 40-hour campaign. It's already on its way from Amazon, Crispy. Thanks.
I know.
Activision's already writing a check for
I
Crispy.
didn't say it was good. I said it was long.
Good
Long
mom.
for a Call
But
of
you
Duty.
know, maybe I'm the only one, but I really liked World War II's campaign. Like I thought that.
Okay,
I thought that was a good
I'm
campaign.
still
It's just
interested in
weird.
it.
It is weird that I don't know.
You know what?
But
Fuck this, Brad. I'm gonna play a Call of Duty campaign
if-
before next show.
I would
No,
say,
you're not.
I would say, if you're like curious about Battle Royale, but you know, Fortnite seems too skeezy and PUBG seems too like
janky.
or like too fucking hoity-toity.
What
looking down
is
your
that?
nose.
Was that what PUBG is?
No, but I mean that's like the fucking they're the ones that think they're better than everybody.
Also, there's more than 3 Battle Royale.
They're the
games.
elitist battle royale. I know. I think this is a good entry level battle royale. Like just
Play some of that Zombies
Feel if you
and
like
report back because Zombies. I
No,
remember
I'm not
Zombies
gonna
being
do
a
that.
lot of fun.
I'm
There are people
I'm
who
taking-
love zombies, and then everybody else hates it.
the only reason I'm not doing that is because I'm taking the game back to Redbox.
Oh, well,
I
there
don't
you
have
go.
plans to run it again.
Fair enough.
But we'll see.
Well, thank you for the update. I'm glad somebody.
Fortnite
played it,
is
'cause I've-
free, but like, man, Fortnite's jank as fuck, man. like the frustrating thing about Fortnite is like you'll get into a fight with somebody, your game will freeze, and then you'll just be dead because the game lagged out when they killed you.
Aw.
Like, it's fucking frustrating.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Fortnite, it's been a fortnight since we heard from Nolan.
It's true.
So
It's been half a fortnight.
we have 2 Assassin's Creed games to talk about, but why don't we talk about yours first? Because I don't think it's ever been talked about on this show.
It is not. I think I'm the first person I ever played on the show.
I can't. I think there was some situation where I played like 5 minutes of this game.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. Oh, I think I red boxed it
This
or
came
something.
out the same year as Unity.
Yeah.
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 Man.
It came out side by side with Unity, and no one's
Ubisoft was
and even
fucked up back then.
so I was a huge Assassin's Creed fan. Unity burned me. I never finished that, and then I got kind of annoyed by Rogue.
Everyone was
Wait, no,
joking.
wait,
like,
did it come
what
out
if
with Unity?
Rogue's better?
I think it came out the year before Unity.
I think Rogue
No.
came out side by side with 3.
No.
It didn't come out side by side with 3.
Rogue
but,
was
at all.
Rogue
but
came out
Rogue
after 4.
came out the
Came
same
after
year that
4.
Unity came out.
Okay,
Yeah.
Because Unity was
Gotcha,
the first
gotcha.
only next gen one.
Correct.
So they had one for the other gen. too.
Yes.
Gotcha. You're right. Okay.
Anyway,
Tell us about Assassin's Creed Rogue.
Assassin's Creed Rogue, the only Assassin's Creed game in the series, main series, I've never played before.
Yeah.
I'm
same-
finally getting around to
same
playing it. Mainly because I got it not too long ago for probably super cheap.
Yeah.
And I had gotten the itch for Assassin's Creed, but I didn't want to play Odyssey. And I was like, you know what? I want some fucking old school. I booted up 4. And I was like, wait, why am I going to replay 4 when I could play the one
Something
that's
new.
very similar that is basically the same thing?
Yeah.
But I haven't played it before, and this one has penguins. So
There we
I
go.
I was like, let me play Rogue, because I was curious. I was like, oh, why does this guy go Rogue? So I'm a decent way into this game. I want to say 20 hours.
Damn.
I played a huge chunk of it.
Where does this game actually take place?
So there's 3 main areas. There is New York. Yeah, New York.
knew?
There is Canada. So kind of you're up in Canada. You're in I mean, obviously this is like in
So
the
you're in
1700s.
like the northeastern.
Yeah, northeast. So the kind of North Atlantic area, Canada area. I mean, you go to what are some of the places you go to? I can't remember. I'm just drawing a blank on some of the names. Like some of the names, I'm like, oh yeah, I know where kind of about where that is up north. But yeah, that kind of region.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you play Shay Cormac. I think Cormac. He's obviously you start the game as an assassin. You actually start on the land from Connor.
Mm-hmm.
I think they even refer to it as, I can't remember Connor's last name, but his estate.
The main character. When you say Connor, you're referring to the character
Sure.
from Assassin's Creed 3.
Correct. So that's kind of where you start, that kind of if you remember that from 3, that area becomes an assassin, the Brotherhood's kind of base of operations. Some shit. God damn it, Butters. Some shit goes down. Yeah. And Shay decides he does not like what the assassins are doing.
He does not. The assassins don't appeal to him. So doesn't he turn and become like a?
Yes, you become a Templar. So
Yeah.
that's why it's Assassin's Creed Rogue. And so.
But you still dress like an assassin.
Well, so I'm actually wearing Ezio's outfit. I mean,
okay.
being an Ubisoft game, since I've played other Assassin's Creed games, I unlocked Ezio's outfit, and I unlocked Connor's outfit, and I have what's the guy from 4?
Edward Kenway.
Kenway outfit and stuff like
I was
that.
very upset about how in Odyssey I didn't have enough points to unlock the all-female crew.
Yeah.
You can get an all-female crew.
Yeah.
With your Ubi
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed points.
So it's not the Helix credits. It's the and I think for you, Brad, it was that you hadn't played enough Assassin's Creed games, because I noticed that, because that's one of the things that Ubisoft started doing. Yeah, the Uplay thing is there
I
are
need to look into that.
there are challenges in games, and if
They sing songs.
yeah,
but
the
ladies.
shanties. Yeah. So there are things in if you do this, you get there's a challenge, you unlock some points. Those points you could then use to unlock game exclusive stuff.
Yeah.
And since I had played enough, Assassin's Creed games, I got some stuff. I got Ezio's outfit and whatever. But anyway, yes, this game is a lot of ship stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It is that is how you get around the world, is sailing in your ship. I would say
So it's,
literally, I wish I would have gone there so you could
It's like
see
Wind
it.
Waker.
It's more than that. Similar. So I wish I would have gone to the North Atlantic area. It's literally, think of a map of a very river heavy area with just islands everywhere.
yeah.
That's what this is. When you're not in New York, which is the more traditional Assassin's Creed style, scaling rooftops,
Yeah.
doing that, and you're not out in the open water, the main third area you go to is literally just tons of rivers, twisting islands, little stuff like that. And so, like I said, you spend a lot of time on your ship and doing ship combat.
This is reminding me how much more, how
See, here's the thing.
It's a lot deeper than it is in Odyssey.
Well, the thing is, the boats in Odyssey don't have the style of boats don't have these giant masts.
Yeah.
and so you actually spend a lot more time in these games like maneuver because you're in these like pirate ships. You're scaling the fucking mast and then diving down onto the ships and like doing stealth assassinations from the ships like when you're taking them over and stuff.
Sure.
Which is cool. Which I think is a lot of the boats in the main boat in Odyssey is like so much lower to the ground.
It feels more arcadey in Odyssey, but it's fun. Like you're a lot faster. You can ram stuff way more often in Odyssey.
That is one thing I've noticed in Odyssey is that the boats are quicker.
Are you playing this on PS3 or 4?
PC.
Oh, PC. Did it ever come to PS4? I can't remember. I know that because
I don't think
so.
Rogue did.
Ah.
I think Rogue was exclusively
Unity
last gen.
couldn't run on last gen consoles, so they made this for the poor people.
And I will say that for a fucking game as old as it is, it runs really smooth and it's actually pretty. It looks fairly good.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm playing
but
it on
it's
PC,
PC,
60 frames a second
wine.
at 2K.
How far in the story are you?
And this, I'm pretty far. Like I
Are
said,
you
I'm like
enjoying
20
that?
something hours in.
Enjoying the story?
Yeah, I mean, it's an assassin's.
Does he
It's
stay a Templar?
Okay.
as of
don't answer that.
right now, he is a Templar. That is all I know.
Does that like twist on the story like
So that's what I want to talk about.
come across in the gameplay in any way or?
That I don't like that transition. I don't like, and I was kind of, I can't remember who I was talking about with chat. My memory's horrible. But I was talking about it.
You just hit an
on,
iceberg.
on Tuesday. Yeah, well, you can. You can build up your RAM on your thing and slam into icebergs and be okay, as long as you hit it dead on. If you hit it at like an angle, it could still fuck up your ship.
That's what got the Titanic.
Exactly. By the way, I fucking eat it in this battle coming up
Is
later
there
on.
artillery in Odyssey?
Yes.
No. Yeah,
There
I don't know.
is.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, there's
Beyond
there's archers and
javelins?
spears, and then you can upgrade them. They become like flaming spears. And
No, but I mean like the long distance artillery, big red circles.
not that I've unlocked yet, but there's a lot of stuff I haven't.
Apparently they remastered Rogue and put it on PS4 recently.
That's good to know.
Those
I've
bastards.
But
I mean,
but yeah, so I mean, I was kind of bitching about it when I was streaming on Tuesday that the decision, the event that led him to astray from the Brotherhood and had him join the Templars, I was not very impressed by it. I was like, oh really? That's it? That's okay, I guess so. I mean, this story of this game has not grabbed me like other Assassin's Creed games has. It's okay. I understand what I'm doing. I understand why I'm doing it. But I don't know. It hasn't grabbed me like the other games have. Like, especially
are you still doing
the Ezio trilogy.
are you? What are the assassination missions like? I mean,
So I'm not an assassin. I'm a Templar. But you can intercept assassin missions. So say like
taking out assassins?
Yes. So assassins are going after a target.
Cool.
You intercept that, and you have to then assassinate the assassins.
See, that's fucking cool.
And I do like that. What is interesting about this game that they added, Krispy, multiplayer of Assassin's Creed. How did you know there was another assassin around? The Whispers. That's in this game. Like, when there's an assassin around, you'll hear the Whispers, and you'll get that pop-up radar that lets you know that there's an assassin around, because they literally will be sitting on benches, walking with crowds, and stuff like that. And
that's fucking dope.
It is kind of. They'll fucking jump out of trees and try to assassinate you.
Hey, isn't that Connor's father from Assassin's Creed 3?
I think so. So yes, so this game has has ties to 3 and
Haytham Kenway?
I think
Yeah.
even Unity. Yeah, this game kind of I think it like interlocks a couple of like storylines. But yeah, no, so like assassins will jump out, they'll hide in bushes, they'll hide in barrels of hay. They'll hide in like the fucking little like wardrobe things. And so that's what I kind of like about this is it's like you're on the other end of it. And so they'll have like they'll jump out at you and fucking stab you. And you'll have like a barely any health left if you don't catch it in time. There's kind of like not a quick time event, but essentially there's like a counter move you can do that if you do it quick enough, you're able to like dodge it. But yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm enjoying it.
This is cool. I might maybe when I get the itch to like go back, like you said, play maybe an old school.
I wanted to play
Assassin's Creed.
4 because I had the itch to play Odyssey, but I wanted some shanties and whatever, but I didn't want to play Odyssey yet. And I was like, I literally go look at my Steam. I booted up 4 and I played it for like 10 minutes. And then I was like, wait, why am I doing this? I never played Rogue. Let me play that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very similar to 4. I mean, the way you like upgrade your ship and stuff is exactly the same. You're still going after the like the materials, like wood and metal and cloth and stuff to upgrade your stuff. It's a little bit different from 4. I mean, there are gang hideouts in New York City and in the world, and you take them over, and then you kind of like now own those areas, and that's kind of how you get income. That's one of the ways you do it, and you can fix up areas and whatever. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. This I fucking bite it hard in this battle.
You know what? Watching this footage, one thing I do truly miss from Black Flag as far as the ship combat goes is manning the cannons and like shooting dudes on the decks of ships.
Oh, dude, that's so good. The pickle gun is when
Yeah, all this is missing in Odyssey.
Yeah. But yeah, no. When you're about to board a ship and you get on that little gun, you start fucking like sniping dudes and hitting explosive barrels on the other ships. Yeah, dude, it's fun. But yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely gonna continue to play this. Just because it's really scratching my old school Assassin's Creed itch. My, like I said, that one hits like killed on people. They've added a lot of new stuff to this though, in terms of like weaponry. You now have almost like a grenade launcher. For like sleep grenades, shrapnel grenades, and berserk grenades. So I think 4 had the like berserk where you'd shoot a guy and he would kind of go crazy and start attacking his friends, but they've added this one as like an area of effect attack. So when you hit it, you can like make 5 guys just start fucking attacking each other and stuff. All the traditional Assassin's Creed stuff, that smoke bombs and stuff like that.
This looks cool.
Well, I got some news. I've been playing Assassin's Creed Liberation.
No,
Roll the footage, Chris.
No,
Davis.
you haven't.
That's funny.
In that game, you play
a lady.
Oh,
a lady
I will say
Templar.
Yes, that's true. I will say
not a Templar.
That the Out of Animus stuff in this, still not a big fan of it. I mean, it's similar to how it was in 4. Oh yeah, I thought that was pretty funny that during this cutscene he just fucking vanishes. You leave. It's the same thing as 4. You work for Abstergo and their game development stuff. It's that same concept. You have to you have to leave your Animus to go restart servers and stuff. Yeah, but the really fucking annoying thing is,
holy shit,
Jaeger subscribe. But what happens is when you leave the Animus, they're like, oh, go restart that server. Here's a level 2 key card, so now I can access new areas. I'm like, oh, well, let me explore. Let me open these. And like every fucking 30 seconds, they're like, that server's not going to restart itself. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. I know what I need to do.
They don't want to let you explore.
And I think it's they want you to restart the server first and then explore.
Because they know they haven't fleshed out that stuff enough. They want you to get back in the Animus as quickly as possible.
So I don't know, like
which kind of sucks.
Jaeger, no, I have not run into. I mean, I don't know if you just saw. I did run into a glitch where a character completely disappeared during a cutscene,
but not the skin on his face.
Correct. I've not run into that, or the smile, the one I ran into in 4, where his just smile got stuck.
That amazing smile.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Yeah,
cool, man. This is. I'm glad you played this and talked about it because
Me too.
I would like to play.
I am not regretting the time I've spent with this at all.
Good. I do want to give a quick update on Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Can I say one thing?
Yes, absolutely.
That kind of pissed me off. In 4, they have that naval combat stuff where when you're in combat, you can capture a ship, and instead of destroying it, you can recruit it for your fleet, and you can send that off on missions. 4 had a companion app that was either on mobile or on like tablets that you could use to do all that minigame stuff. That's not in this one. So I literally have to kind of like pause the gameplay, and it's kind of slow. Like it's kind of like I wish I could like finish my game for the night, go get ready for bed, and as I'm laying in bed, just do all that naval combat stuff. But I think it's just because of the development, they didn't put the funds in for the mobile app, that it doesn't exist, which kind of sucks. But other than that,
fucking mobile app.
Yeah.
I remember I was playing Black Flag and my PS3 died, and I just did that mobile app for like weeks until I got my PS3 back or whatever.
Did you have like a shit ton of money and stuff in the game when you nice?
That thing's stupid.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to give a quick update on Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
There is no quick. Tell me about all the Templars you met, Nick.
Well, first of all, that whole conflict is barely even like. This game takes place so far ahead of like anything else in that timeline that I don't even know if by the end of it it's going to wrap back around and like connect to the whole. The thing is, like, one thing they didn't.
Assassin? Don't answer. I'm fucking with you.
One of the things in this game that I thought was actually interesting, at least potentially interesting, is when you're outside of the Animus, they do start introducing several new characters that you're talking to that allude to like an assassin that's operating in Asia. They don't say where, but like just they're kind of starting to plant seeds, I guess, for potential games taking place in other parts of the world. Are they
apple seeds?
Oh, I think I see what you did there.
Oh,
but anyways, I'm about like 30 to 35 hours into the game now.
You're saying Johnny Appleseed was an assassin?
No,
Then
the
I
apple
don't
of
know.
Eden.
Oh,
Then you know what?
that
I was
obviously wasn't grown.
well. Then you know what? I was incorrect in assuming that I knew what you were talking about. So, I'm getting to. So I'm still really enjoying this game.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to hit a wall of a little bit of frustration.
Is it just there's too much to do, or?
Well, there's always that, but at the same time, I still really do enjoy exploring this world, and a lot of that stems from, I think they did take some notes from something like Breath of the Wild. The fact that you can literally climb on any surface in this game helps tremendously.
Is it their thick Greek accents? Trying to figure out what you don't like. Is it the fact that they say Malacca every 10 seconds?
No, we talked about it briefly at the beginning of the show, and it's that, like, I'm wanting to play the game a very specific way. I'm wanting to play an assassin and play like an assassin. I've kind of adopted this new play style where I unless I can avoid it, I don't kill people. I knock. This is one of the first games in the series.
Doesn't
that
sound
gives
like a
the
very good
option
assassin.
to knock. The thing is,
Or
you
mercenary.
only need to assassinate specific people. So like
Gotcha.
when you play it from the perspective of like,
like random
I'm only
grunts
going
you
to
don't want to.
I'm only going to assassinate people like actual targets. Like I'm not out to kill everybody in the fucking world. Like if someone isn't a target, I'm just gonna knock them out and move on.
Sure.
Which I think is a fun way to play. I think it kind of adds to the immersion, the atmosphere of the game. There of course are plenty of moments where I panic because there's a lot of cases where I'll be like running through the city and I'm like, oh, what's over there? And I go running through like an archway and then I realize I'm running into like a zone that's being like guarded and someone's like, hey, what are you doing here? I'm like, shit, and then I fucking kill them. And I'm
that is one thing I will say that Assassin's Creeds have never been very good at the fact that if you were guarding an area and a guy walked in, you wouldn't immediately be like, kill him! You'd probably be like, dude, get the fuck out of here. And then if he like stabbed you, then you'd be like, oh, kill him. But like even in Rogue, it's a little frustrating that like when I accidentally wander into an area I'm not supposed to be, they're just like murder.
Yeah, and I think this game has a little bit too much of that. And also I think because I want to play as an assassin and I want to be able to sneak in and out of places and take out my targets, like I feel like there's way too many enemies in a lot of these places.
Sure.
Like there's times where I walked into like this place where there was a leader, right? So you're supposed to take out these leaders that will lead you to be able to do these conquest missions, right?
Sure.
And I walk in this area and there's a leader. He's walking around the grounds and he's got like 6 bodyguards.
Oh, wow.
And on top of that, like they're literally just walking behind him with him. So there's like no chance in hell of me just being able to assassinate him.
Nick, you should have gone down the warrior tree, man. You're fucking Xena. You shouldn't be sneaking around.
But I'm still getting plenty of that because of the way this game is built, because of the way it's designed, because of the fact that there's so many fucking enemies. It often turns into encounters like that anyways, which I find to be kind of frustrating.
I can't wait to play this shit like The Witcher.
Well, that's great. And the fact that you can play it like that is great. And I honestly, I think it's probably best that you play it like that anyways, because I'm wanting to play this because it's an Assassin's Creed game and I like to play it like an assassin. But this is an Assassin's Creed game that isn't really an assassin's game. Like she never once refers
same
to
with like Black Flag.
She never once refers to herself as an assassin.
Yeah.
She's a mercenary. She's like, if you pay me money, I will kill people for you.
She's a Spartan.
She's not realistically speaking, she's probably not concerned at all with whether she does it sneakily or taking everybody out in the room. I don't think she cares. She just
guns a-blazing, one might say.
And I think that's fine. I'm just like I like the feeling of getting those one-hit kills.
Sure.
And there's still plenty of opportunities to do that.
Yeah.
But man, there's so many times where I'm like I sneak up to someone and like it'll tell you go to like do the assassinate button, but instead of saying assassinate, it was like do a heavy attack, and you see that it shows you on their health bar like, how much damage you'll do, and you're like, they're not gonna die from this. And then I do it. It takes off most of their health, and then I immediately hit them, follow it up with one of those like super attacks that I have built up in my meter, and it takes them out. But I'm like, that would have been so much cooler if I just walked up and got him.
You know what game kind of does pretty good assassination missions?
Is it an Assassin's Creed game?
No.
Wait, Hitman?
No.
Yes.
Well, Hitman does, but that's not what I
Spyro.
was thinking of.
What?
I've been playing Grand Theft Auto 5, and there's like assassination missions you get
that
to
little
take as
fucking punch in
Franklin.
the back of the head.
Dude, I mean, like, there's specifically like missions
Oh,
based
I mean,
around
yeah.
assassinating
You
targets.
get like the phone booths or whatever. Yeah.
Dude, that shit was so much fun, and I was thinking about this game while I was playing that, just going like, man,
You were
what?
playing Grand Theft Auto 5?
Yeah,
Like the single player?
both.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think they're, I think.
It's just, I just feel like it's
No,
a
you're right.
little
You're
sad
absolutely
that
right.
they
And honestly,
floated away from that a little bit.
It's one of the reasons. It's a double-sided sword because like I
double-edged
love
sword, just like
I love.
swords. I don't
You're killing me.
Are
You're
many
killing me,
swords not
Krispy.
double-
I love.
There are swords in this game.
I love what they've done with this game mechanically speaking, like
Yeah.
all the RPG stuff and the world I think is fantastic, but like they've also lost a little bit of that assassin-y stuff, which I think is great. It was great in older games. But yeah, I don't know. We talked a little bit last week, Crispy, about the cultist thing, and to be honest, I haven't taken out too many more cultists, but I did in fact find a cultist just walking through the streets in a major town, and I was literally able to like walk up to him and just stab him and just walk away,
Well, that's cool.
and that was great.
Nick,
That must have been
that's
amazing.
crude.
What this?
That is crude. You're just looking at a dick and a taint.
Yeah.
Don't shoot him in the grundle.
I thought this would be great for the footage. Okay.
See, Nick, you know what I want to say about your footage?
What?
It looks a lot smoother than my experience.
Yeah. So that's
You're not really dressed like an assassin either, but
no. You're
that's-
dressed like a fucking Spartan.
Why is yours not smooth?
Oh,
Are you
that's
playing
what-
on
sorry.
360,
Sorry,
Nolan?
before you go to that, there's one thing I do want to say that I fucking do love about this game. Is
Bronze nipples.
man the what do you call it when you change clothes and it actually changes their appearance?
Oh, like fashion wear?
yeah,
or whatever?
the fashion wear in this game is there's so fucking
Yeah.
much, so much
Oh,
fucking fashion
you
wear.
mean fashion assassins?
Yeah,
You don't mean
yeah,
fashion
fashion
wear.
fashion assassins,
The
exactly.
fashions?
But yeah, there's so much of that in this game, and a lot of it looks so fucking cool.
Yeah.
You mean there's just cool looking armor?
Yes,
Fa-
but there is a lot
fashion
of
wear
it.
is more like you can wear whatever you want, but you can still look good because you get to choose your look.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah, maybe that's
fashion
not-
wear would be, hey, I can get the best armor, but I can make it look like any other
Yeah,
armor.
yeah.
Just so
Okay,
you,
yeah,
you
so
look
that's
the
not-
style you want. You're just
Sorry.
saying that there are so many different outfits and gears
Yeah.
and stuff in this game that, yeah, you can really customize your
Yeah,
character.
but tell us about your experience, Nolan. because
So,
you've
I
been
got this
playing.
game for free.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Because I got it via
Your
Project
brain's
Stream, which is Google's. It's in beta. It is their ability to. It's their new streaming service for video games that they're testing out.
And realistically speaking, eventually at some point, it's going to be the quote unquote future of
Yeah.
gaming, probably. Yeah.
So essentially, what you do is you navigate to the URL in your Chrome browser. You click play, and then like 30 seconds later, you're in the game. I will say it is extremely quick. I will say that for what it's worth, there is not that much input lag at all. I honestly, it's not one of those things where I feel like when I've tried what is the
PlayStation Now.
like not PlayStation Now,
Online?
PlayStation TV's
Remote play.
remote play. That has horrible input lag.
Oh, not on mine. I've been playing Dragon Quest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On your PlayStation TV?
Wait, PlayStation? No, I use a Vita, but it's still remote play.
I don't
Maybe
know.
that's different.
That might be why. I don't know. But anyway, I maybe it was internet issue. I don't know. But anyway,
Wait, you say you've been playing Dragon Quest with your Vita lately?
Yeah, from my bedroom.
Oh,
but anyway, like I said, what I will say is input lag's not bad. Like cutscenes look really good in this, but I haven't been able to play it yet where the frame rate is at a state that I feel.
So have
comfortable.
you looked up if that is like?
I haven't done too much research in it
isolated
yet.
for you?
The thing is, first of all, this is in beta. I've only maybe done 3 sessions with it.
Yeah.
Each session being like 20 minutes. I have not played much of this game yet. But I do need to do a little more digging into why that might be. It might be because I'm playing at a time where Maybe a lot of other people are playing it. I don't know how exactly Google is doing this. I mean, I know Google does a lot of cloud computing, so I'm assuming they just have some instance of the game running on some virtual server somewhere. But I don't know.
That is the weird thing when you start to think about it and you tumble in that rabbit hole of like, how are they doing this? It's like, think of all the different instances they have to have running concurrently with people playing it. Like,
and they're running the best version of it, right? Because you're essentially just playing on a video of the game.
Correct.
On there, so you shouldn't be having frame rate issues. It has to be like a connection issue
potentially. But you know what? It had a recommendation of 15 megabits for your streaming, and I did a stream test, and my internet was going at like 250 at the time, and I had a lag of like fucking like. At one point when I tested it was 10 milliseconds. At one it was 20 milliseconds, which is not long at all.
I wonder if it's just like they're having issues with the beta. Maybe they have too many people. I mean, because not even PlayStation Now has those issues.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to work out some of the kinks.
I mean, like, Brad, this literally just started. So, I mean, I'm sure there's still a lot of kinks to work
out. Just hammering it because they want to play Assassin's Creed for free.
That's it. That's why. It's the fact that they didn't just say, "Hey, we're going to do this Project Stream and we're going to let you play like fucking like Crash Bandicoot or something." It's like this is a brand new fucking AAA game that you get for free. I'm sure there are a shit ton of people who are playing.
Also, think about like they picked a hell of a game for like stress testing on a system like this. Like this game has a lot happening at all. And
so like Scarecrow was saying that I'm fairly certain that Project Stream was what brought down YouTube the other day when YouTube went down. I would not be surprised at all if that was part of it.
But hey, that's why we have things like betas.
Yeah. And so anyway, I'm gonna try to continue to play it like that. If they don't improve the frame rate, I'm not like a frame.
If you're on the fence, don't get too far.
I'm not I know. Be like, I'm not like a frame rate whore. But when it's running sub 30, it's tough, especially on a game like this. I would really much prefer at least 30.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm coming off of playing Assassin's Creed Rogue that's running at 60 frames a second, and so it really sucks to go from a game that's 60 to a game that's like 23. And not exactly like constant. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe Google will fix things, but yeah.
See. Well, thanks for the update. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think we need to take a break.
Yeah.
We come back. I think we'll do Nolan's. Is this final check-in on Frostpunk since you finished the game?
Yep.
And then we have a news topic to discuss. We'll answer some questions from our supporters on Patreon. We'll do our supporter spotlight, and of course, we'll wrap up. So if you're watching us live, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this short break. Game to talk about, of course. Nolan,
what's up, Nick?
You want to give us your final thoughts?
Yes. Frostpunk.
Final thoughts on a DLC.
Correct. Well, it's not necessarily a DLC. It's a free expansion.
Yeah.
Like next week's be like, they released a new DLC.
5 more weeks of Frostpunk.
So yeah, if you own Frostpunk, which it was on sale the other day, I don't know if it still is. This was free. It's not like you had to pay. You own the game. You got this. Fall of Winterhome. So yes, I did come to a conclusion with Winterhome.
Was the conclusion that everybody died?
No, not everyone died. But the farther I got into the campaign, obviously more and more started going wrong. It's a scenario where I knew I couldn't get everyone out alive. The Dreadnought, which
this was the ship you were trying to eventually
get everyone onto to escape the city, had only so many layers on it, and I had to build them out using steel and steam cores. And steam cores are very valuable in this game. They're not a common commodity. They're very rare. And in order to get more, I actually had to start breaking down important buildings to get my steam cores back that I'd used on them, like a factory. Factories are used at building prosthetics for people who've been amputated limbs, and also the automatons, the robots. And so I just made a shit ton of prosthetic limbs and then destroyed my factory because I needed that steam core.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I
So
knew
from that point forward, you couldn't make any more, is what you're saying?
correct.
Automatons.
Yeah. And so I knew that I wasn't going to be able to completely build out the Dreadnought. I just physically didn't have enough time. It's one of those things where you knew, oh, I have like 5 days left. And don't get me wrong, the game kind of lied about that. I was actually able to extend the 2 extra days. I still don't know if I could have gotten an extra. Like the thing was for the
So it was 5 work days.
correct. Thank you. Well, you can force people to work 24 hours. They get very mad at you when you do it.
That's strangely
And that
topical.
leads to our next conversation.
Yeah. But yeah, so, for the first cabin, I needed like 500 steel and a steam core. That's fine. Then the next one, 1,000, and then 1,500. And I think all in all, I would have needed like 8,000 or 9,000 steel. And that's just a lot of steel when you only have 2 plants that can manufacture it. So it got to the point where as I was moving people away from the city towards the Dreadnought, I started tearing down the houses they were in because those houses had steel in them. I was literally...
Come on, we're leaving, and when you leave, tear down your house.
If you look at this game, before I send people to the Dreadnought versus the last day, the city is fucking almost gone. I've torn down every building because, hey, I don't need as much coal. I don't need as much wood. I don't need the houses. And so literally just tearing shit down to fucking try and hobble together this Dreadnought so we can escape. All the while, people are kind of finding more and more out. They're like, oh, I've gotten word that we're not all going to fit. And even if I were able to get all of the decks filled out, I still couldn't fit everybody. There was a group of engineers that approached me and they're like, hey, dude, we know not everyone's going to fit. We'll stay behind. We'll stay behind and keep the generator going.
Volunteered to stay behind?
Because to keep the generator going as long as possible. Because it's constantly breaking down. Every, maybe day and a half, it completely shuts down.
They volunteered to die.
Yes. Because they knew someone had to. They're like, oh, we'll try and stretch it out. So, by the last time my generator died, I think it took, 13 hours to get it back online. So it's literally 13 hours in, negative 60-degree weather. No heat. It's just fucking
Sounds like about 5 minutes of life.
yeah. And dude, it's just the last bit of this game gets so intense. People people rioting in the streets. They're about to steal 400 wood, a bunch of food supplies, and just make a break for the Dreadnought. And it's I have to call in the guards to fucking beat the shit out of them to stop them from going. And then some people die in the process. And it's just one of those things where the last few days of this game is just stress and fucking just decisions.
I don't think I can take this.
Dude, it's so good though. And so finally I'm able to build 4 out of the 5 decks on the Dreadnought, which meant I had 400 people on there out of my 540 or something like that.
Pretty good percentage.
So 140 people didn't make it. I sent them plenty of food to survive, and then I launched the Dreadnought. The generator blows up. As the cutscene is kind of going towards the end, the game crashes. So I load back up my save, launch the Dreadnought. The cutscene goes up and crashes, and I tried it 3 times, and so I don't exactly know.
You did all this, and you don't know how it is.
So I'm fairly certain it probably still leaves you on a cliffhanger, and that
have you messaged the developers about this?
No.
They responded to you last time, didn't they?
No, they never responded to me.
Oh man.
Fuck you, 11-bit
You know what's
Studios.
weird?
What's up, Brad?
There was this.
Really? When?
During your stream,
I don't recall that.
the Frostpunk radio.
That was someone from 11-bit? I didn't know that. They didn't tell them hey, I'm from 11-bit. They were just Frostpunk Radio, and I was like, oh, that's a cool name. You must like Frostpunk.
And they're yeah, we like it.
Well, fuck me. I wish I would have known that because then I would have bitched at them more. But yeah, I don't, and that's kind of the point, Nick, is I don't think the Dreadnought launching is not supposed to be it's you don't know. You're just going off to try and see. And that's kind of just the end of this. But that's the point, is, the generator blows. The few people who were surviving in this city that had to get left behind probably died. And then the Dreadnought, goes off and tries to find its own thing.
It's a poetic ending, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, I wholeheartedly fucking love this game.
Endorse the hell out of it.
It is stressful as fuck. It is not a carefree game that you can just la-di-da-di-da play.
But let me just say one last time, I love the way this game looks.
Dude, it's fucking amazing. I love the aesthetic
You
is
hate
great.
snow levels.
The fact
I do
the
hate
fact
snow
that,
levels. Yes,
like all of the snowy areas, if you were to like put like a steam hub there, like and as it expands its heat, like that snow melts.
so cool. I just
and-
like the isometric look, and like you see all the steam rising. And,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, and then it's just a cool look.
Dude,
It's a
like
cool
Nick,
vibe.
so much of this game gets 6 a.m. or whenever it is, 8 a.m. whenever they ring the bell, like toot, time for another day's work, and like like stuff like that, and like just there's so much that when you play through all 4 scenarios in this game, it's just they're very different, they're very unique, even though you're kind of doing the same thing to an extent. They all feel like so unique on their own. And I was talking to community members in chat who've played this game for like 90 hours and stuff. And like it's like they were giving me all these tips. Oh, if you do this and do this, I'm like, oh, that like he was the one that was like, dude, tear down some houses. I'm like, oh fuck, duh, like
Yeah.
and like stuff I didn't think about when you're just playing it for the first time. But yes, if anyone, I wholeheartedly recommend this game. This game is
This is
fantastic.
Nolan's game of the year.
I don't know about
Calling
that. It's definitely probably going to appear in my top 10 though. Like I have no doubt about that this is going to be in my top 10 this year. I love this game. It's a game that I can feel like myself like Binding of Isaac, just like randomly booting up one day, just play for a couple hours, just
Yeah.
because it's
Look at that! It just looks so alive and detailed and
but
stressful.
here's the thing, Nick, is I had forgotten to turn up like for some reason the past couple of days when I've been broadcasting this, like it's been kind of laggy a bit, so I reduced the quality. So this is like fucking. I want to say almost like it's either I think it's 720p or something, and so it's not even like the highest quality. Everything's like turned down.
looks pretty
When
good.
everything's turned up, this game's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm surprised how much detail there is.
I just hate that,
It's stressful?
That obviously, but my PC gaming this year has been like nothing.
yeah.
And I feel like I'm the one who turned you on to this game, and I
Oh,
haven't been able to.
100%.
I haven't been able to play it since.
Brad, like I remember the day Brad mentioned Frostpunk, and I was like, "Oh, what is that? That sounds like that could be interesting." And dude, I fucking fell in love
It's
with
like y'all in Subnautica. Y'all turned me on to Subnautica.
Yep.
Because it's on a PC.
So good, so fucking good. All right, we need to move on.
Yeah.
Thank
So that
you.
is probably the last you'll hear of me of Subnautica, Frostpunk, probably until Game of the Year videos.
unless new DLC comes to light.
Thankfully, as of now, to my knowledge, there's no plans for new DLC for it. They had always planned this 4 scenario when the game
Yeah.
first came out. There was 3 slots of the scenarios and a 4th one that always said coming soon.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I don't think they have plans of at least anytime soon of another scenario.
Okay. All right, you ready, Brad?
Yes.
Are you ready for this?
Am I ready for what?
We have a news topic.
Yes. This is
There's only one
the
news-
news topic everybody's been talking about the past week.
So the big hubbub this week, obviously Red Dead Redemption 2 is very much on the horizon.
Dude, it's fucking a week.
Yep.
A week from 20 minutes from now.
Exactly.
Not for me.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I got a email
Oh.
from GameFly specifically to address Red Dead Redemption 2. They're
Go
saying
on.
2 weeks.
we're not going to get it till November.
Oh,
Like 2
fuck,
weeks from
dude.
In like we apologize for this. Like I've never seen that from GameFly before.
That sucks.
I saw an article that said that independent game
Yeah.
sellers weren't getting it. until
Yeah,
November.
something's going on with this. I mean, Rockstar's definitely trying to make sure everybody buys it from a Walmart and nothing else or something.
There's a lot
I don't
of-
know what's going on.
There's a lot of Red Dead
but,
news
like-
dropping this week too. So apparently,
and it's not a red box.
apparently it is going to be a 2-disc game. You see that?
What? I did not hear about this.
It is apparently going to ship on 2 discs. That is not 100%.
Hey, I called it. I
confirmed.
said it's either going to be one of those Blu-ray XLs or 2 discs.
I mean, I was like, there's got to be something.
I'm
covered all the bases.
I'm 90% certain one of those is just going to be an install disc, and then you'll just always play it off the other ones.
Possibly, yeah.
This game's gonna.
They want
break
to
my
avoid leaks.
PlayStation.
Listen, you're not avoiding leaks by making GameFly wait 2 weeks. Something else is going on.
But that's not the news we're here to talk about.
No.
Dan Houser, who is the president, or is he officially the president? He's the head of Rockstar Games.
The Hauser brothers.
Yeah.
Is it just one of the Hausers? Who's
One
in
of the
charge?
Hauser brothers was doing a interview, I think on
Vulture.
Vulture, yeah. And in that interview, he was talking a lot. He was going into depth about just some
The
of the
detail of the
details,
game. Like the volume of stuff in the game.
And at one point, he started to talk about what was required of the team in order to achieve that level of detail, and how he was very proud of it. But there's one line.
Well,
of dialogue
he very
in
casually threw
Yeah.
out like we've been doing 100-hour work weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that
Everyone
immediately-
freaked out about.
Well, it set off red flags.
Yeah.
Because one, it's the kind of thing that like crunch culture has been like I think a hot button issue like
Sure.
over the past couple of years. I mean, Kotaku's really been leaning into it. Places like Waypoint as well. Like every interview I've been listening to, like that question comes up. Like, what are you doing about like crunch culture? Do y'all crunch? Why? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But
Of course, when we
It's
talk
ju-
about crunch culture, we talk about the very nearing the end of a development cycle, and
Yeah.
like basically forcing or expecting your
well,
employees
we'll talk about what it actually is and what it means. But we even talked about it recently with this Telltale stuff. How they're like miserable because they were in this endless crunch because there was all episodic and they were always releasing a product, so they kind of never got out of it. But it was the way he kind of casually brought it up, almost as if it was like something he was proud of.
Like a normal thing that, like, yeah,
It seemed a little tone deaf, not just in like the current climate where these issues are being talked about a lot more, but Rockstar has a history with this.
Yeah.
Of around the release of the first Red Dead, L.A. Noire, even back to like Grand Theft Auto 4.
Yeah.
These issues have popped up. There was like the Rockstar wives or whatever.
Yeah.
Who
the wives
organized to complain about how much time people were spending at the studio working on that first Red Dead. I'm saying these issues they have a history, so to see him so casually bring it up
now
seemed concerning for people because it set off these red flags. Like, are these issues still going on?
Yeah.
At Rockstar?
And it's like you said, it's a hot button issue. We've seen it happen a lot at other studios, and it's become a hot button issue in the industry in general.
It's always been a problem in the industry, especially.
But like
in
we're
Japanese,
just now starting to see like advocacy for like
yes, people are
combating that.
talking about it more,
Yeah.
which is good because I think that is what leads to change.
And there's just like extremely like perhaps unrealistic expectations on studios from publishers and higher ups as to getting a game done, and the scope of games maybe getting too big.
I think the
that
problem
kind of
is, coming from a development standpoint, there are definitely times where I work more than 40 hours a week. I would say I don't remember the last time I only worked 40 hours in a week. I just work more, and especially when it comes to salaried employees, that's not a big deal.
Yeah, but 100 hours is still
Hold
pretty
on.
excessive.
Hold on. Before we get to that, I'm just saying that that's a common thing, especially when you're coming to crunch time, especially when you're coming to like, here's a deadline. I have to fucking get this shit done. I do know it's worse for video game developers because of the fact that, they have to put a deadline on it. With my job, deadlines can be extended. Like, hey, we've decided that we actually do need to push out this deployment to a later date. When you fucking set a release date, it is not, yes, have we seen some games get delayed? Yes, it's probably because there are huge issues. But for a lot of the time, even when they do get delayed, they're still crunch time towards the end because
it just means more crunch.
Exactly.
Usually.
But it's just because there are when a game comes out, when there are huge bugs in it, people just shit all over it. And so you got to do your best to ensure that you find all those little bugs and get all the details and kinks and stuff worked out.
Yeah.
And so it sucks, but that's the kind of the way life is. Everything I've heard has said that those 100-hour work weeks.
Yeah, so that's the second part of the story.
Yeah.
It was initially alarming because of how casually he said it. The second part of it is how Rockstar has chosen to respond to this.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of situations, a company would have maybe chosen to remain quiet or sweep it under the rug, that kind of thing.
Statement.
They were on top of this very quickly. They issued a statement saying, this was maybe misconstrued. It's not what I meant to. I didn't mean to imply that like everybody was working 100-hour weeks.
Specifically, our writing team.
Yeah, he did like
that's who I was referring to. But
he said like there was like 3 weeks with a writing team, which comprised of like 4 or 5 people specifically were working 100-hour weeks, but like it didn't apply to the majority of the company and that kind of thing.
Well, I mean,
and on top of that,
can I say something about his damage control response?
Sure.
He's saying he didn't say we don't force people to crunch. He said we don't force people to work hard.
Yeah.
Which is a scary thing. I don't know if it was a Freudian slip, but that means he associates working hard with working excessive hours. Yeah. And that seems crazy to me. People are saying that like crunch is a problem like across all like tech and even more companies, but I think the difference with like game development is you often see the argument that it is a passion driven job because these people, they just love making games, and that's why, you know, they work these long hours. And I feel like that is like a weird little cop out because, you know,
yeah, I mean, it's the idea that anybody working in games has 100 people lined up behind them ready to take.
And it's kind of fucking true. That's why burnout is happening, and you're not seeing these older people in this industry anymore. It's these young people because they love video games. So
on a smaller scale,
they can maybe deal with the crunch because they don't have families yet.
On a smaller scale too, that's why I think GameStop is such a sleazy company in some certain respects.
Well, exactly, 100%, exactly,
100%.
Like they'll hire like any kid, they'll pay any kid minimum wage to work at GameStop because they know if he's not happy with what they're paying him, he's got 100
it's
kids
fucking
lined up.
exploitative. And the executives that are becoming billionaires,
if he doesn't like it, I guarantee you there's probably someone in the store right now who would take the job at GameStop.
I know for a fact I worked for that company for a long ass time, not happy with what I was being paid, but doing it anyways because I liked the job.
Sure.
I mean, I liked the act of talking about video games.
So I think it's one of those scenarios where, yes, you know, people enjoy what they do, so some don't mind the crunch, and there are definitely managers and higher ups at companies who won't say, "Oh, I need you to work an extra 20 hours this week." They won't say that. They'll just be like, "Well, you know, I'm counting on you that you'll get it done."
It's also
it's a lot of
scary.
implied,
and then they'll order a bunch of pizza.
Yeah.
Riceball in chat brought up something that I've also seen talked about a lot, and this is kind of like a personal perspective from me. What about the movie industry? Yeah, there's a lot of problems with crunch in the movie industry, but there are some pretty significant differences in that everyone working in movies is working very short-term contracts. Like, I mean, if you're working during movie production, you're working during the time that movie's shooting, you're probably working 6-day weeks, you're working for a month doing that.
Yeah.
Also,
and
there's unions.
That industry is crazy unionized.
Yeah.
Everyone's in a union. Everyone has a unionized representation. Video games don't have that.
Yeah.
I feel like these
and there's like a big push to prevent that from happening.
100%.
I think these video games should be fighting against crunch culture because, I mean, there's been studies saying that, one, it doesn't even really help. But two, you see studios that don't do that, like Insomniac, and people are saying like it's one of the best businesses in general, you know, to work at because, you know, people are fucking happy there. And yet they can still put out amazing games like Spider-Man.
It's one of those scenarios, like you were saying, Brad, they order a bunch of pizza. And that's something that I see in my industry a lot. And that I know a lot of people who work for bigger companies, you know, Google's, Amazon's, Facebook's. And a lot of the things that they say so great about that is like, oh, you know, Google at 5 p.m., they roll out the kegs, they have free food. You know, like at Google, I've been to a couple different Google headquarters for different training events. And yeah, they have free, like, extremely fucking good lunch every day. They have chefs that cook all that, but you know the reason they do all that is because they expect you to be there all day. They don't say
they're trying to distract you from the fact that they're expecting you to like not.
You don't come in at 8 a.m. and leave at 5 p.m. You come in at 8 a.m. and leave at 8 p.m. You're there all day, like working, and that's what that's why they give you that stuff.
And you don't have to, but you know what? They take notice of that shit.
100%.
And when it comes to they did this really awkward thing where they're like, all right, we're going to let our people finally talk on social media. And you start seeing all these things, like very positive things about the company pop up from certain people. One, I'll say, hey, the people who have nice things to say, it's a lot easier for them to say their stuff on social media than the people who have bad things to say because they're maybe still working at Rockstar. Two is like, you see people bragging like, I don't crunch that much. Like, look, dog. After the release of a game, there's usually some downsizing. Maybe
Maybe
People saying,
don't-
I've been working there for 3 years. I've been working there for 6 years. We've been working on Red Dead the whole time, and they're probably going to be laying people off. And you know what? It's probably going to be the people who weren't working 80 fucking hours a
the
week.
scary thing about this,
There's a stigma, you know? Like, if you don't stay, you get labeled as someone who doesn't work as hard. And that they shouldn't encourage that kind of culture in the first place, because
100%.
it should be, you know, you work this long, go home at the end of the day, you know, you base on how hard you work during those hours, not how many extra hours you want to put in, because hey, some people have fucking families and they care about that more than Red Dead, you know, Redemption 2.
I think the scary thing,
and you shouldn't.
This thing is viewed as normal because the people who run the show say it's normal.
yeah,
And companies are never your friends.
yeah, that's true. I think the scary thing is
Their passion is money.
I think the scary thing is
They're
like,
getting most of it.
the implication is internally, at least, is that, you know, and that someone who chooses to work 80 hours a week is more passionate about video games or the act of making video games than someone who can only put in 40 hours a week, realistically speaking. No. So like some people who said they chose to stay longer and do crunch time may have been doing this out of this like pressure, like, you know, like
Yeah.
social
pressure is a real fucking issue.
Like, I really want to go home and see my family. I really need to be home with my family, but like I don't want to lose my job, so I'm just gonna stay here.
It's not even no. It's like Brad was saying. It's the scenario where, you know, when it comes to the end of the dev cycle and they're, you know, having to downsize because they just physically don't need as many people.
You don't want to be the one on the chopping block.
If you've been that one who comes in 9 to 5, like, why would you hang around? Like, they're gonna pick the guy. Like, I've seen this kid working 12 hours a day every day. He's a team player.
He's more
the one
passionate about making games.
And so yeah, so it's that scenario where yes, I could see. I have seen all of the negative things I have seen about Rockstar and social media have been from people who are no longer at the company.
Yeah,
you know, who've left for.
And there was that one report of like someone who reached out to an employee of Rockstar, I think, over social media, and then like the guy didn't respond. He just deleted his account.
Yeah.
And I don't remember where that was or who it was specifically, but like that was telling.
Yeah. Oh no, 100%.
And you know what? And part of it too, like you hear us talking about this all the time, as far as like, oh my god, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey is like ridiculously big. It's like I feel like the scope of games is getting so big, unnecessarily large, that like that's kind of what's leading. Like imagine if you just like were pickier about what you included in your game, like scaled back the scope a bit. And, like, you wouldn't even need to have all this crunch time necessarily. Like, imagine if your game was just smaller in scope.
Yeah.
Like, imagine how much more polished it would be if it was smaller in scope, and how much happier how less stressed your team would be. Like,
or like, you know, it's a culture thing. It's a management thing. People say crunch is the fault of bad management. You know, if Insomniac can put out a game like Spider-Man and not support this kind of culture, then maybe you just need to rethink how you're running your business. I will say that like a majority of the industry is like this.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And you know, we love video games and we're still going to play them, but when we all play Red Dead in a couple of weeks, I just want, when we're gushing over the little details that this game has that other games don't have, just keep in mind the human cost that brought, you know, us these details. And it's not that we shouldn't enjoy the game, but we should just...
It's going to be so easy to overlook that shit
Yeah,
because it's going to be
talking
a great
about
game.
it is important because talking about it leads to
But
change.
like, think about the human cost of like the games that didn't do so well. You know,
Yeah.
Like think about like who like missed the birth of a child making Assassin's Creed Unity or something.
I mean,
you know,
that's-
it's fucking sad to think
companies
about.
aren't your friends. Look at Telltale.
That's fucking sad
Those
to
people
think
were
about.
endless crunching, and then one day the company said no severance. Enjoy your family life.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is fucking blood diamonds.
that
Kind of.
that was very poetic. What you just said, Krispy. Someone missed the birth of a child. Making
I'm not
Assassin's
saying
Creed
that
Unity.
happened,
I
but
know
like
it does
something like that
fucking
probably has
Or you
happened.
know
There
what,
was a
Crispy?
reason-
with some
Crispy,
kind of
you
game
know what
like that.
happened? They actually did not miss the birth of their child, but since they weren't at work that day, come into the game development when they're letting people go, maybe this guy wasn't around so much.
Shame on you
I
for
mean,
having
like-
a child. Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
it's
it
just
would be
the
like
idea
if y'all kicked me off the podcast because I couldn't podcast as
I
much.
mean,
It's
we've
the
thought
idea
about it.
that like we all have one life to live. We're all gonna die one day, and how you spend that finite amount of time is like is very important, and like giving it to these companies for work that like sometimes is lauded, most of the times ends up amounting to nothing, you know, is fucking like
sad.
Yeah, it's
God,
like no wonder depression's a thing.
Did you read that thread from like a former Team Bondi employee? Who the makers of LA Noire, about how she introduced like a cake day where once a week she would bake these cakes, like often like video game themed cakes, and every week they would take once a week they'd take 30 minutes just to hang out, eat some cake, usually, you know, when they're crunching and stuff, after hours, you know. Well, obviously they're still working.
Just kind of recenter.
And it was like a very positive thing. Everyone was started like communicating a lot more until like higher ups were like, this isn't working out. You need to do this during your lunch hour or this is not going to work.
My God.
And it's like, that's so, like, it was a morale boosting thing for these people that you were making work tireless hours.
That's disgusting.
It's fucking gross.
They
It's
just want to fucking break your
man.
spine, suck all the fucking life-giving essence out of your
I do want to
corpse, and then
stress.
cast it aside.
I do want to stress one thing here, and that, and I think we did a pretty good job of talking about this, but we also got to realize that like we don't know what the situation is at Rockstar, and this was all kind of like you said, like it may have just been something he said in the moment because that was
got a really nice.
that was just the
employee
words
lounge,
that came out of his
so-
mouth when he was trying to articulate what he was trying to say, and that may not be the case at Rockstar. That may be a great place to work.
Well-
but like the fact that like this spurred such a dramatic response.
I mean,
It's a good thing. It's a
I'm
good
sure that not everyone there is working 100-hour weeks. I'm sure
No,
not everyone there is
absolutely not.
working even 60-hour weeks. I'm sure there's plenty of employees who do a 40, 45-hour week, go home to their families and whatever. And it's just one of those scenarios where, yes, sometimes there are teams at a company who end up having to work harder than others or stay longer than others. Sure. And it sucks. And I mean, that's just kind of the industry. That's how it goes. And I hope that those people are rewarded for their hard work in some way, be it with cake, be it with maybe an extra bonus when the game does well. I don't know.
If it does well, but
you know what,
if it doesn't do well, the execs still get paid,
Oh, yeah.
and the,
Well,
the
that's-
lower
that's
people
a-
don't get their
that's a
bonuses.
fucked up thing in
They're
the
the ones
industry,
that get to
period.
liquidate,
This
cut
is
and run.
this is such a small thing, but it's something that I've been doing probably for 3 or 4 years now. When I beat a game, I sit through all the credits, and I know that's kind of dumb.
God,
and
you're
it's-
such a fucking hero, Nick.
I mean, but like, just I know.
read every name on that list.
Okay, I don't do that necessarily, but sometimes
Then
it's,
I send them all emails.
sometimes it's
What
fun
do
to
you
like pick out weird. I mean, it's more of just like taking in like how many people it took to make the project.
Yeah.
You bring up the thing about missing childbirths, dude. There is a reason why they include in almost every credit scene
Oh,
now,
yeah.
like
The production babies.
production babies. It's like how many of those were missed by by
Or
the
just
father or mother.
family
none.
life.
Yeah, you
We're
hope
not
like
mother.
that's
Hopefully
suffered,
none,
you know, just
but-
family life that's suffered.
I totally just said how many.
I would,
how many of those were
I
missed
would
by the
hope
mother.
that even Dan Hauser would be like, "Oh, your kid's being born right now. Well, take an extended lunch."
I mean,
Holy shit.
yeah,
That's funny.
Yeah. it's
It's kind of gross, but I'm glad these conversations are happening for sure. 'Cause
I honestly think the fact that social media is getting bigger, I don't want to say like there's a lot of movements that are going around that are kind of helping this, and I do think that it's going to get better than it is. I think it's probably going to take a while, and it's not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen the next year, 2 years, 3 years. It's going to take a little while for this to kind of become a little more. And I'm hoping that I know to an extent a lot of this stuff. They're like, oh well, let's outsource it then. Instead of making our employees here do it, fucking pay someone 10 cents
I wonder
overseas.
what Crunch
to...
is like at like Ubisoft, where they make a game like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and they have like 6 teams across the world that are working on it. I wonder if that like alleviates crunch?
Well,
Or makes it
I think it's
it's
like-
different in different places.
I think it's like adding lanes to a highway. Like adding lanes on a highway never alleviates traffic. It just puts more cars on the highway.
I will say, Jason Schreier from Kotaku, who's probably like the most respected like actual journalist like in the industry right now, says that he's like next week there is a big fucking report that he's
Op-ed.
doing, op-ed that he's doing. He has a lot of sources, and he's saying that ultimately it's like a very messy topic, but wait for his thing, because I know a lot of people he's been wanting to talk about it, but he's been kind of waiting to kind of go into details. So look for that next week. It should be kind of an interesting thing, especially because he's been following not just studios, obviously, but labor issues.
Yeah, and I'll bring this up. I mentioned this during the break too, but I picked up his. Brad's brought it up several times, but he wrote Blood, Sweat, and Pixels.
Yeah.
And I
a lot of what he talked about in that book too is especially from like the indie devs.
Yeah.
Who would
But there's also some big games in there too that it covers that I'm really curious. There's like The Witcher 3's in there.
Oh
in
yeah,
that
yeah.
book, and,
yeah.
Dragon Age Inquisition and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like I'm
No,
really,
it's
I'm really
it's a great
excited to
fucking
read
book.
that.
The kind of games that Nick plays. He doesn't like indie games.
But,
Yeah,
but,
I don't play that
no. I mentioned indie games because you see a lot of these like solo indie developers who will like
Chris Hacker.
do like a self-imposed crunch of like tirelessly working on a game on and on and on
Chris
forever.
Hacker hasn't eaten in years.
Yeah,
He's
but
still sitting in that corner in the Seattle Convention Center.
He's been wearing the same catheter for 4 years.
Oh,
but even though it's sort of self-imposed and there's not like this big company that's sort of encouraging a crunch, like there's like this human cost, and a lot of these indie devs talk about how like this huge like negative effect that this kind of tireless work has had on their lives, even though some of these games might be like really big successes.
Yeah.
Man.
All right. Well, let's move on to a happier subject.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Let's do it.
We're going to do community. Obviously, we're going to get some questions from our supporters on Patreon in just a moment. I do want to take a moment to, of course, revisit our supporter spotlight for the month. This is a new thing we're doing on Patreon. If you support us at the $3 tier or higher, you could be selected to be our supporter spotlight. I'm going to announce a new one for the month of November next week. But essentially what we do is we reach out to that person who's picked. We ask you several questions about your opinions on games and whatnot, and then throughout the month we just kind of read off your responses and give an opportunity to have like a platform where you can kind of speak directly to us and to the community. So last week we introduced KNC Cito. He is our supporter spotlight, and this week we are going to read his top 5 games of all time, which is always a fun topic. Everybody loves lists, right?
We get to shit all over it.
Listicle.
Maybe. Actually, the first game on his top 5 is a game I think you recently played for 1998 month.
Spyro the Dragon.
Brave Fencer Musashi.
Ooh, Brave Fencer.
He
Musashi,
says,
pretty cool.
other than one really frustrating sequence, I think this is a solid adventure game with fun voice acting and a good soundtrack. It's a game I love dearly and would recommend to anybody, even though the game has faults like weird camera stuff and imprecise controls at times. I'm really happy that Brad decided to play this game for 1998 month.
I'm glad I decided to play it too.
Yeah, it sounds like a really cool game. Also, I think it's worth noting here too. I don't know if this top 5 is in a particular order. He didn't number them, but yeah, let's read his next one. Cave Story, which is actually one I've never played before.
Very cool game.
It says most of the games that are on this list are mostly here because I found them really charming. I was terrible at 2D platformers and I tend to drop them rather quickly, but Cave Story turned me around on them with its cute pixel designs and really catchy music. I also really like the main character's design and will often use his character portrait as an avatar or profile icon. Was that the game that came out on the Wii?
I mean, it came out on WiiWare on the Wii.
Yeah.
That was probably its first console release, but it's been like a free indie. In fact, Cave Story was like one of the first like indie games from like this solo developer that sort of started turning heads like way back in like 2004 or some shit. Yeah, but it's a really great game. That was the game that, well,
didn't David like champion the shit out of that game, or am I thinking of something else?
I mean, it's probably me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Cave Stories is number.
We used to, one of its songs used to be our intro.
Oh my God, you're right.
Oh,
I forgot
yeah.
about that. Wow, I didn't even know that. That's strange.
Yeah. No, I love Cave Story. It's cool.
Number 3, Final Fantasy Tactics.
It's
a pretty good game.
It's a good game.
It is a good game. Was a game I disliked at first because I was young and didn't understand the systems. Once I did, it quickly became a favorite. The gameplay arc of being a Squire class throwing rocks at knights to becoming a dual-wielding, weapon-catching, unstoppable damage monster that had near unlimited movement by the end game was really enjoyable on top of the cool, engaging story.
Yes. Yeah,
I wonder if he played the War of the Lions version or if he went back. I just out of curiosity if he.
They're both very good.
Yeah, I really wish I still had a fucking like PSP or something. It's like go back and play it. Oh,
That's
look
weird.
at
Why
KNC
would you
Cito.
just get rid of it?
Well, what?
I don't know because I never played it. KNC Cito is in chat.
I never played my Dreamcast, I still have that.
Which version did you play, KNC Cito? Did you play War of the Lions? Number 2, Valkyria Chronicles, another one that's very near and dear to our hearts. I like this game a lot because I found it unique in a lot of aspects, from the watercolor visual design to the non-grids tactics gameplay to a war story not too focused on grand epic cinematic sequences or the all-encompassing politics of war. Valkyria Chronicles is a game that finds a balance between lighthearted and serious in every part of it. I think that's a really eloquent way of explaining why that game is so appealing. Like, why I think it transcends, like, maybe the things I don't like about it, like the storybook presentation that we all kind of said we're done with.
Well, at least it made more sense in the first game because it was sort of the account of a journalist who was a character in that game, while in the fourth one, that character doesn't exist, and it still has that framing device.
But they frame it in the fourth one as like a journal. So
yeah, I know, but who's making that journal?
The fucking main character.
He
says he does.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's a habit I picked up from
He carries it
him.
around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And KNCCito in chat says, I own both the PS1 War of the Lions and the PS1 Classics version.
Yeah.
Cool. And his number 1 is Portal 2. A great game.
Interesting Portal 2.
Yeah, a great game on its own. I mostly enjoy watching other people play this game. Seeing how my friends solve puzzles or how well they can cooperate with each other is always fun to watch. I've always wanted to see how well couples would do at this game, but I always feared that it would ruin relationships this way. Man, I keep forgetting that game had co-op in it.
That was like the point of the game.
I'm trying to remember if I played that.
That was the brilliant part of that game.
That was one of my favorite parts about that game because when I bought it,
very fucking good.
it was when Sony did a deal with Microsoft to where you could cross-play between PC and PS3. And so I was in my bedroom on my PC and Bernadette was in the living room on my PS3, and we co-opted the whole game together. I fucking love that aspect of it.
Maybe the best co-op game ever made, except maybe Resident Evil 5.
Well, I'm trying to remember for the life of me.
Play it with Robin.
Yeah.
Maybe I should.
Yeah. I can't believe you never played that co-op. I just assumed
Y'all have two PS4s.
That is true. We
Play
do.
it together.
That is true. But we don't have 2 PS4 copies of. Of course, I can pick up Portal 2 probably for like $5.
I'm
now.
sure you can get it cheap.
What a delightful
Also,
game.
KNCCito in chat says, "Lol, no, I put them in descending order, so I think I got it backwards."
God
so
damn
he's
it,
saying
Nick.
Brave Fencer Musashi is his number 1. Portal 2 would be his number 5. So sorry about that. But interesting
But hey,
choice.
called Final Fantasy Tactics still is number 3.
Yeah, it's true.
not
One is
change.
still the same. So last thing I wanted to do for Supporter Spotlight today is read his a game that he considered to be an underrated game that he wishes more people would play, and this kind of actually connects to his top 5. He says, "I'm not quite sure how you would do it, but if you have a chance to play Brave Fencer Musashi, then please try it. You play as a samurai tasked with saving the all-you-can-eat kingdom." Is that how you... He says pronounced all-you-can-eat. So, all-you-can-eat kingdom from the Thirst Quencher Empire. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, a lot of food puns in that game.
Yeah.
That's cool. Along the way, you free the captured inhabitants of the palace, most of them with food-themed names, stop Vambies from overrunning Grillin Village, collect some elemental scrolls, fight some Crest Guardians, and save Princess Filet. If you want to play a PS1 action-adventure game that shares some elements of Legend of Zelda and Kirby, full of quirky voice acting and a wonderful soundtrack, then please try Brave Fencer Musashi.
Agreed.
It is a cool game. Out of the 2, that was when you did Ninjas versus Samurais for 1991.
Yes.
And of the 2, I honestly thought Brave Fencer Musashi looked like the cooler game in my opinion. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try it someday. How much even is that game? Did you play it on? Did you have a disc or did you?
I have the disc. It's not available digitally. It's one of those. There's a lot of PS1 classics that are available. That's just not one of them, unfortunately.
Gotcha. Well, there you have it. So those are KNCCito's top 5 games, and he recommends to the community, if you have an opportunity or a way of playing it, get out there and play Brave Fencer Musashi. It's a pretty cool game. If you want to see more about it, too, you can probably go back and find clips of Brad playing it during 1998 month. So next week, we will get back. It'll be our last week to spotlight KNCCito. We're going to read his most cherished gaming-related memory, and he'll have an opportunity to do his own 4-player minute. So, Nolan.
What up, Nick?
Take it away. We have some questions, I hear.
But first, we have some new patrons.
Oh, shit!
All right, so we have quite a few of them. First,
that's what I like to hear.
I don't remember if I mentioned Lowrick before. Maybe,
I feel
but
like you
if
did.
so,
But anyways, thank you, Lowrick.
second mention. We also have Tyler,
Tyler.
and then we have Jason.
Jason.
3 new patrons this
Tyler,
week.
Jason, and Lowrick.
Cool.
Thank you guys very, very, very much. Also, that reminds me, too, I mentioned last week we picked our giveaway winner for September, who is Hoss 3000, and I finally got a hold of him, and the game that he chose was actually Just Cause 4, which is a game I keep forgetting is still coming this year.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting. Yeah. Actually, there's tornadoes.
There is tornadoes. I can't wait to see what.
Hopefully, it's cool. 3 was okay, but
yeah, I bet you there's gonna be a Sharknado.
He said,
I hope so.
He said in an email that like one of his the thing that kind of introduced him to our show was actually watching you play Just Cause 2.
Fucking him out.
All
right. Got some questions from our patrons. We got a few, so let's get to them because it's already late in the evening.
Yes.
First question this week from Mr. Green Toast. What was your personal favorite Halloween-themed TV show episode or one-off special?
Ooh.
He says, for example, I love the Pygmalion?
Pygmalion is a word.
Pygmalion? Episode of King of the Hill, which I will say, I'm about to read it, but this is one of my favorite episodes too. Where crazy pork supplier, voiced by Michael Keaton, falls in love with Luann, and during a Halloween party, dresses her up. He dresses up like a pig to be taken care of by her as a pet. After a long chase sequence through a slaughterhouse, the man ends up getting shocked in the head and regains some sanity, only to realize too late and gets killed by his own machine via spikes.
I'm gonna watch every Halloween episode of King of the Hill now.
There's not that many Halloween episodes.
No?
Dude, Brett, I'm over the past like 4 months, I've gone through every King of the Hill episode. I'm on the final season right now. I will say I fucking love the shit out of that show. Every time I rewatch it, it just gets better and better. I mean, like there's so many little like fucking one-liners and stuff. The whole one like, Bobby, you got an F in English? You speak English. And then like there was one where like he accidentally steals a guy's wallet, and then the guy goes crazy and fucking chases him around town and stuff. And then like at the end of the day, he's like, I'm sorry I did all that, but I went crazy. And like the cop who was like arresting the guy was like, oh well, I'm glad everything got back to normal. He's like, Mr. Hill, are you gonna press charges? And he's like, hell yeah, I am. Like it's just like, oh, the show's so great. Anyway, one-off specials. That's a tough question.
I have two
Treehouse of Horrors.
Oh, well, there's plenty of good Treehouse of Horrors.
Oh, one-off.
Two things that come to mind for me, and I think I've mentioned this fairly recently.
This is Halloween or one-off.
Oh.
Fairly recently I've mentioned this, but the season 2 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer Halloween special is fucking amazing. Where they go to the costume shop and everyone in the town buys costumes from the same shop, and there's a curse on the shop, and everyone turns into what their costume is, and Buffy, of course, decided to dress up like... Well,
it's not a big spoiler.
She dresses up like an old fashioned like a peasant
yeah,
woman from the ages, because she thinks Angel will be more attracted to her that way because he was from the 1800s.
Yeah,
and so she just turns into like this like total scaredy cat.
Yeah.
Great fucking episode. It's incredible. Also, I'm watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine right now, and they always have great Halloween episodes. I've only seen 2 so far because I'm on the end of season 2, but that show is fucking amazing. By the way, has anyone here watched that?
What show?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yep.
Oh, I've only seen a couple episodes.
So fucking good.
I've watched though.
Pretty good.
There was an episode. There was a Halloween episode of Castle where Nathan Fillion dressed up as like a space pirate.
Yeah. Oh god.
I'm trying. That's tough. Like I love these questions, but some of them are tough just to kind of pull shit out of my ass for like some random. I'm sure there's probably a lot of really good stuff that I just have trouble remembering.
The zombie Halloween special of Community was pretty.
That one was pretty good.
Remember the Boy Meets World Halloween episode
I
where
do not.
it's like Scream and Sarah Michelle Gellar is a guest star.
There's
She
some
plays
good.
Sarah Michelle Pfefferman or something like that. And like Jack gets killed in the beginning of the episode he gets stabbed through the head with a pencil, and then like his body falls down, and then Eric's like, "We'll always remember he was this tall."
There's some good Halloween episodes on The Office as well.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Like that's such a brilliant idea for one of these companies like Netflix or whatever, like Hulu, to like compile a channel of like just Halloween episodes from different shows,
or any holiday themed episode, basically.
Like man, like that would be awesome. Or you can do that for every season.
So
I really like the Halloween themed episode from Game of Thrones.
Shut up, Nick.
There's a couple of Venture Brothers Halloween specials.
I can make bad jokes.
There's the one with that was the Rocky Horror Picture one. But the very Venture Halloween is really good. They're all dressed up and everything, and like kids, like the Venture compound has like all these traps and stuff set up on it, like lasers and all this crazy shit, and they're taking bets on if the kids are gonna get through. And
the
actually,
defense
and he's like, why did you buy
Those
like
kids make it through that minefield. They're getting full bars.
like he's like, why did you buy full candy bars? And he's like, there's a fucking laser grid. Like if the kids make it through, they're getting full bars. Like that's a really good episode.
That's such a good one.
Roseanne did have some good Halloween episodes.
Well, anyway,
Right,
let's
next
move on.
episode, next question.
Yeah,
Okay,
next episode.
What was the deal with that show?
Let's not get
Did
into that.
people watch that new show?
Anyway, Angel asks.
By the way, I found out what they did. Never mind.
Okay,
how
okay.
they-
Angel asks, have you ever played a game so much that you started having weird or lucid dreams about them? Maybe a nightmare involving the game. Recently, I had a weird dream where my movements were locked behind CP and AP like Valkyria Chronicles. At some point, I thought I had sleep paralysis as I couldn't move from my bed, but I was just out of AP, so at least I was still able to toss and turn. I will say
That's fucking funny.
that any time I play like too much Super Hot VR in a row,
Yeah.
when I get out of it, I feel weird. Like I don't feel like time doesn't move right. Like because you get so used to like when you don't move, time stands still. That all of a sudden when you start moving, it's like what the fuck's going on? Like it's not even dreaming. It's like reality. Like your just body feels weird.
Most block games like Lumines would do that to me, where I'd see blocks as I was trying to go to sleep. Also, like playing a lot of Katamari, you start to like look at the world differently, like rolling up shit. Same with The Witness. You know, you start seeing like puzzles in the blind puzzles in the world.
That fucking happened to me.
Yeah.
I would say I seem to remember having some kind of weird dream when I was playing Breath of the Wild. I'm terrible at remembering specifics of my dreams, but I had something Zelda related when I was playing that. Also, I think it's been on more than one occasion when I was playing through a Fatal Frame game that I ended up having some pretty fucked up dreams.
Start sleeping with a camera.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those games get under my skin. So they're so oppressive. Like there is no comic relief in Fatal Frame. So like if you play that for like a long period of time right before going to bed,
It's not even.
You're just in
it's
a
not
weird
just a
head
lack
state.
of comic relief. There's no like respite in that game. It's just
there's no levity, there's no break, there's no.
you can't even stay still. They'll come for you. It's fucked
true.
up.
That's fucked
And then
up.
they start fucking with you, and the save room stop being safe. And
Crispy, do you have anything?
fuck.
Do you dream?
I don't dream. I can't.
What about
I
when you
don't
play like a
remember
ton of
dreams,
Overwatch?
like-
Do you stop? Do you start wanting to fuck everything you see?
God.
It's Overwatch. It's very horny.
You don't have to play Overwatch for that to happen.
It's very horny. That's true.
All right, moving on. Next question from Sherika. You all have quit your jobs and begun streaming full time.
Nope.
It's been 3 months and you haven't told your families. What do they say and how do they react?
I don't.
My family would probably.
I would just start
noticed.
packing my bags. I feel like that's just like,
I agree. I don't think it would go over too well.
yeah, that's not a.
What
First
is
of all, I don't even think that's
They
a
haven't
reality.
noticed after 3 months though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So I mean,
There's
you must be making money at it.
I feel like it would be similar to there's a comedian named Joe Coy, and he always talked about when he was younger, his mom would be like, "Who told you you're funny?" Like, and it's kind of like that. It'd be like, "Hey, wait, who told you you could do that? Like, you're not good enough at that." Like,
I mean, like it depends. If the assumption is that you're raking in money to live off of it, I would say it. I would tell I guess in my situation, I would tell Robin in a heartbeat because she doesn't care. She thinks it's cool, whatever. But like, if the assumption is it's like our reality as it exists right now, and I quit my job under the impression that like if I streamed full time, I would suddenly be raking in money.
Yeah.
No, that's just not it. I don't even think that's a reality I would want. I don't think I would want to stream.
Well, you see a lot of
Full-time.
streamers who like they get so burnt out because they feel compelled to do it every single night, and the more the stream, the more the money they make, so they just keep going and going and going, and they're so worried to like take time off for themselves because we've seen it. It can have an effect on your viewership, which is your paycheck, and it's like it's stressful.
I mean, I kind of like
It's like the other day when YouTube went down and all the YouTubers were like, "What do we do,
dude, so many people were in my stream that day that was like, "Hey, I just came here because YouTube was down," and then someone was like, "Hey, YouTube's back up," and I'm like, "You shut your fucking mouth! No, it's not. YouTube is still down.
It's like YouTube's back. I was like, oh, later.
Don't leave the stream."
I don't know. Like, I like this feeling of like doing this once or twice a week. Like for me, it's just like those are the nights where it's
Hey,
like, oh, I do something.
If I could
different.
get the same paycheck and benefits I get now for streaming the same amount of time, that I work now, then I would probably do that.
Dude,
yes.
You would stream 40 hours a week?
I used to stream 40 hours a week for fun.
False. You used to stream probably like 20 hours a week. 30 tops.
There was a time, I think, where he probably did close to 40.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, we got to move on. More questions. Zol Crone asks, going off last week's podcast, I think we can all agree that when it comes to Assassin's Creed, the modern day / future story is going nowhere. With that being said, would you be opposed to them revisiting the original idea and act like Assassin's Creed 3 never happened in order to bring back Desmond in order to finally continue the story?
I would say I've seen writers write themselves out of some crazy corners.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would even be necessary to pretend like it never happened.
I agree.
I do honestly think that it is such a mess right now, and it is so inconsistent. Like, they don't seem to know what they're wanting to do with it. That they either need to fully embrace it and like focus on trying to fix it, or get rid of it. Which is not much thing I want to happen, but if they're not going to focus on making it good again, they need to get rid of it altogether.
All right, since no one
I think
else
it
has
was
anything
a
to say.
false premise that the modern day story was more organized or had more of a point before 3.
I mean,
Did you fist fight the Pope in number
Yes.
2?
Yes,
Okay.
you did.
But that wasn't the modern day stuff. That was,
Yeah,
Correct.
but he claimed the papacy illegitimately, so it's okay.
Correct. I mean, don't get me wrong. I honestly do think they could still revisit that same concept. You don't need Desmond. You can leave Desmond where he's at. And just the whole concept was, the reason Desmond was a thing was because he had a tie to this assassin. There are other assassins. Other people could have ties to them. You could completely revisit with a new character and do something very different.
the thing is, like, they've gotten so far off course. Like, I don't even know what the story is they're trying to tell anymore. In the modern
yeah,
day.
I agree.
At the least when Desmond was the focus, like, there was a character you could consistently follow. There seemed to be a path he was on. Like,
Correct.
Like, it was building to
There
him.
was like a Lost style path.
Yes,
They
but
put him.
that's still.
They put him at a trailhead, having no idea where that trail was going to go, and that the entirety of like what was likable about the modern day elements were just the personalities.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Which is fine, but like that story, they didn't know what they were going to do with it. That story went nowhere because there was nowhere for it to go.
Well, I think that's because I am of the belief that, like, before they had a chance to, like, realize that, like, okay, this is becoming a series, this is becoming a big thing, we can focus on making this modern day story fleshed out and really well done. You started to see the backlash to people who were like, I really don't like the science fiction aspect of it, I don't like this, I just want to play as an assassin. And, like, it started to become this kind of, like, development by what's the word I'm looking for? Like,
Democracy.
yeah, I mean, like, they were being, the direction of the series was kind of being dictated to them by
I would say
the
designed by
audience.
committee.
Yeah,
I
designed
mean,
by committee.
in
but-
Black
That makes it sound like
Flag.
there's one room of people who are contributing ideas,
But that
instead
room-
instead of millions of people.
yeah, but
contributing
that
ideas.
in this case, what I'm saying is that room would be just the fucking internet at large.
I mean, look at Black Flag when they introduced the. What did you think about this mission?
yeah.
What about this one?
Yeah.
Rate this one.
Instead of, I think that I still love the series. I love where they've gone with the series, but like, it's always been a series that seems like they care way too much about how the audience thinks.
Well,
You know, I mean,
you do know
there is
that
something
the
important-
creative mind that created the series left, and
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
probably when they became a little rudderless. I
Yes.
mean,
that is
All
true.
right, we got to move on. We got like 4 more questions. Lowrick asks, what's a game you want to see re-released / remastered for next-gen consoles? Not for the single content, but to revive a dead multiplayer community. For example, Castlevania HD, Harmony of Despair, or Singularity. I love both those
Singularity had multiplayer.
multiplayers, but they're
Just for
ghost
multiplayer?
towns now.
Yeah, he's specifically asking this question from the frame of reference of like
Revive
reviving a
multiplayer.
multiplayer community.
Twisted Metal.
Of course.
Yeah,
Say
twist
Metal.
the latest Twisted Metal, 2012 or whatever. Do a a remaster version of that to save the online, which ends.
Or fuck it, Twisted Metal Black.
Well, they did that actually.
An 8. I'm talking about but remastering that for 8 like current gen consoles. That would be
Well, it came out on PS4 and kind of remastered. I mean, those PS2 are technically remastered re-releases.
Chris Davis.
absolutely revive Splinter Cell Chaos Theory.
Oh,
That'd be good.
That
had some
multiplayer,
good
I cannot
content.
tell you how many hundreds of hours I put into playing it. It is so good.
That would be cool. I'm also going to put out there for consideration Red Faction Guerrilla.
Yes.
They did that as well.
Oh, yeah,
with the
they just-
multiplayer.
they-
yeah.
They
But
just released Remastered. Did that have the multiplayer
Yeah,
component?
it did have
I didn't know that.
multiplayer,
Well,
yeah.
shit. Mine just happened. It's a dream come true.
I would say either Assassin's Creed Brotherhood or Revelations.
You know what? Especially after seeing what they did with Black Ops 4, I'm wondering, because we always talk about that maybe Assassin's Creed should become like a biannual franchise, which I think is kind of unrealistic based on what Ubisoft like what they've been doing. But like, what if while they built like the next evolution of Assassin's Creed, they released a exclusive multiplayer Assassin's Creed game in the interim? Like, what if next year Assassin's Creed was just a multiplayer game where they like riffed on
Like a Battle Royale Assassin's Creed?
doesn't have to be Battle Royale, but just like take
Nick,
that concept.
it's 2018.
Okay,
Yes,
maybe it
would.
does have to be Battle Royale.
What
But,
if they didn't do anything Assassin's Creed and made another goddamn Prince of Persia game?
There's that. By the way, there is a mission in Assassin's Creed Odyssey called Prince of Persia. And
That's
I'm like,
just
you're
a slap
just
in the face.
just
It's a
fucking
slap in the
twisting
face.
the knife
Fuck
now.
you! Don't do that.
By the way, do you remember a long time ago there was a leaked screenshot of a Prince of Persia game? Apparently that started as apparently Assassin's Creed Origins
it's-
started as a Prince of Persia game.
So did the original Assassin's Creed.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
it's like history repeating itself
yeah.
in a weird way.
They're like, oh, Prince of Persia's back, but we can make more money if we call it Assassin's Creed.
Wait, what am
What
I
if-
saying, guys? Fucking GoldenEye.
Ew.
I would love to see GoldenEye
What if
remastered and
they
modernized.
what if they remastered or revived Left 4 Dead?
Yeah, I mean, well, I feel like
Just
I feel like we've just been waiting for a Left 4 Dead 3 for
Valve
fucking
sucks
forever.
so much.
I do miss that game.
I miss everything from Valve.
Yeah.
Actually, they just re-released Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, as well as the Orange Box and Portal 1 on Xbox as an enhanced series of games.
Who cares?
But like that doesn't.
we want
Pretty
Left 4
sure
Dead
Portal 1 was
3.
part
I
of
would
the
only
Orange
be
Box.
interested.
It was.
Enhanced. You just mean one of those back compat things?
I would only be interested if that indicated that they were interested in making more games in that series, like from Valve.
You know what I want? I want a next gen prop hunt
And a Half-Life, and a Portal, and a TF,
And
and
a
Left 4 Dead.
a Trouble in Terrorist
And by the way,
Town.
Jaeger is bringing up that GoldenEye source mod, which I agree is cool, but like, I'm talking like from the. I mean, this question is specifically referring to the multiplayer component, but I would love just to see GoldenEye single player and multiplayer remastered and
Man, fuck
modernized.
that. Time Splitters.
I was never a big Time Splitters guy. I mean,
Time Splitters was so much cooler.
Yeah, no,
I respectfully disagree, but okay.
It was made by the
Nothing's cooler than James Bond, guys.
made by the same people. It's the natural evolution from GoldenEye to Perfect Dark to Time Splitters. The Stamper brothers. They're the ones who
All right,
formed
we gotta
Free
move on. Next question from our patron
Supporter Spotlight.
supporter spotlight,
KNCito.
KNCito. Occasionally at my overnight grocery job, I come across some odd products such as Oreo churros or Baconaise or chicken and waffle Lay's potato chips. What are some strange food products you see at the store and wonder, who is this for?
Is Baconaise like mayonnaise with bacon in it?
Maybe.
Bacon sounds pretty gross.
Yeah.
I mean, it has mayonnaise in it. So, yeah.
That's
No,
interesting.
well,
Fucking Bud
Yeah,
Light with Clamato in it.
Oh,
Clamato?
Yeah,
That's what I don't get.
yeah they've
mean,
done
like
that.
clam, is it like clam?
Well, yeah, it's clam and tomato.
It's clam tomato.
That's like
juice.
a common thing now.
Yeah,
That
but that's
is-
weird.
I mean,
Yeah,
I see that every time I go into a
I find
corner
that to
store.
be
I believe it's Mexican tradition.
Yeah.
I find that to be just as confusing and
But I
like
don't
baffling as like the existence of Bloody Marys. Like I don't understand Bloody Marys. But
I think there's a
Bloody
lot
Marys
of.
are pretty
I
good.
think there, and it's hard to pick some off the top of my head, but there's a lot of combination, like putting bacon and stuff, like just kind of having it in there, like in drinks and in other things, like
That's
just by default,
disgusting.
it's kind of weird.
you should drink bacon.
There's a lot of chip flavors out there that are just kind of weird combinations. I mean, I can't think of any off the top of my head right now, but there are definitely some that like just probably shouldn't
I try all of
exist.
them.
I mean, like there's like ketchup chips. I think it's a common thing in other states.
Canada.
Yeah, Canada
is
is a
really
common
into
I
thing.
got somebody
yeah.
in chat. SMG throws out artichokes. It's just like that's just a vegetable, man.
Cheeseburger in a can.
Wait, are you serious?
fuck?
That's
I
fucking
saw that.
gross.
That is a thing.
Yeah,
It
but-
really
Okay,
exists.
but when you see all the novelty sodas and the novelty chips, you know that they're just selling those as novelties.
Yeah.
Like those aren't for anybody because nobody actually is like their favorite soda's cheeseburger soda. They're buying it for the novelty of it.
There's
there are
probably
things
some
like
fucking creepo that
like the fucking
always
Bud
gets
Light
it.
with Clamato in it is something that like people drink every day. Like they're weird things.
Do you remember good old Lester's Fixins, Brad?
Stop it,
Shut
Chris
up.
Davis.
Stop
You
it.
fucking stop it.
I hope he's dead. I hope Lester is dead.
All right, moving on.
This took a dark turn.
Next question from Zero Skies. If you all were to do a group-themed Halloween costume, what would it be? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, Pac-Man, Ghost, etc.?
Well, don't choose for us.
We've talked about this before.
Wait, we talked about doing it because there was one at one point we decided like we were gonna make like our huge like
Patreon,
reach for the stars goal in our milestone in Patreon that we were gonna do a group cosplay to PAX.
Hey,
And
never
we
hit
had an
that
idea,
goal.
and I don't remember what it was.
I mean, I know one was like Sailor Moon.
well, I would never do that.
I don't remember
That's
what it was
sexist.
either.
I can't pull that off.
Was it Wonderful 101?
Oh, maybe it was. That would be good.
That would be cool.
If
but
we were all just like Wonder
That wasn't
Red,
it.
Wonder Blue. Like, oh man, I'd be Wonder Blue. I'm sorry. Crispy just got really sad because he just realized Wonderful 101 is never gonna get a sequel. Is that what I just sensed over there?
Yeah, let's go with that.
We could do like
That is really sad.
Olimar and his Pikmin.
That'd be good. Who
Uh,
would be Olimar?
I'd be the
matter.
purple pigment.
what's
These are
another
all good
group?
choices. These are all good choices.
That's too hard, Chris Davis.
The Ginyu forces.
the Ginyu
Not
Force.
doing the Ginyu.
I'm
force.
Raccoon.
We could do-
Nick would be Goldo.
No, he'd be Jace. He would definitely be Jace. Or no, he'd be Goldo. Sorry.
Did you just get it because
Yes, I
he's
just
short?
got it. I just got it.
Ah, you son of a bitch. I was like, why'd you go with Jace?
Well, because see, I forget Goldo dies so quick. I was thinking, who's the shortest? I guess Jace.
Jace would
But
be the...
Jace
And
has
then I was
more
like,
of that,
oh wait,
like,
no, Goldo.
Jace has more of that like short guy with a chip on his shoulder thing.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is that
exactly.
me?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
So
all
Chris
short
Davis
people.
could be Goldo.
It's all short people. Son of a bitch.
What's another good like group kind of cosplay?
I feel like this should be an easy question.
Yeah.
And we're
So
just-
there's so many possibilities out there.
I'm trying to think of like big groups of people. We could be the what was the Beauty and Beast Squad from Metal Gear Solid
Yeah.
4?
Yeah.
I'm laughing octopus.
I don't remember the other ones.
I'm trying to remember them now.
You literally took the only one whose name I remembered.
Raging Wolf.
Yeah, Raging Wolf was one. Yeah.
The Dutch gang.
Dutch
from
gang
Red
from
Dead.
Red Dead's kind of boring.
That's just a group of cowboys.
Yeah, let's just put on some dusters and hats.
Speaking of which, I know this is a really random place to insert this promo, but
That's
like
what she said.
Friday, I'm gonna be doing a launch day stream of Red Dead, starting at like 9 a.m. and I'm gonna be dressed as a cowboy, cowboy hat and everything.
Next Friday.
Yeah,
do
sorry,
you have-
next,
do you have
not tomorrow. Next.
Do you have
Friday.
a little vest?
I'm gonna get one.
Assless chaps.
I don't know. I'm gonna be sitting. It's gonna be below the camera.
We could
Otherwise
all
known
be a
as
character
chaps.
from Jericho.
Next
Okay.
question.
That's a squad shooter.
Next question.
All right, final question
With
this
no
evening
Squad tactics.
Ghostbusters.
from Wangless.
Yeah,
Crispy's already ready to
I
go.
already got mine.
Yeah, Chris Davis can be Slimer.
Or
Wangless or Janine. Yeah, sure. Has anybody played Forza Horizon 4?
No.
As I think I am the last Xbox user in the 4-player community, I would recommend this to anyone who enjoys arcade-style racing games.
Well-
It's well optimized for the PC as well, and is probably the best-looking racing game I've ever played. Also, what would it take for Chris Davis to dab on camera? It might seem against his wishes, but I think the social numbers think of the social numbers it will pull.
Will it pull numbers?
Forza, I dabbled in 3, and I'd play 4. I mean, it's not
Horizon 4. There's 4 of those. Wow.
for Horizon 4 came out recently, and it got super good
Yeah.
reviews.
Yeah.
Is it? It's on Game Pass, right?
I think so.
I think
I
yeah,
still
it
haven't
is.
used a free trial of
It
Game
is.
Pass, so I could try it. I just don't have the fucking time.
if I was more into racing, like if I
I am not at all.
I'm
into
not
Forza
into racing
Horizon
games.
4 is like super accessible.
Who,
though.
but who cares? Though?
It's
Like,
just a
like
genre
Brad,
that
for,
doesn't
for,
interest
for me,
me.
it's just I don't give a fuck. The only way I'm gonna play a racing game is that there's a gimmick to it.
There,
If there's
it is. It's got a really fun open world, and you could do a lot of stuff in that world
Like what?
outside of just racing.
like what?
You know, like hunting down like secrets and like taking out all the billboards. A lot of the stuff, like from
That sounds
Doom
boring
12.
as shit to me.
But
you just
I-
gotta try it.
No.
He's refusing. Real
If
quick.
our Patreon hits $1,000, I will dab on camera.
Oh, you people asked. You,
No. That's way too much of an ask for just a dab. Jesus Christ.
you'd
Chris
have to dab
Davis.
continuously for a week on camera.
I would dab on every stream.
We're gonna
One
glue
month.
Why are you
your
so
left
embarrassed?
forearm
Every time he gets a
to
kill
your
in the
forehead.
division,
I mean,
Dab.
I would dab on camera right now, but I don't think people care.
I don't think Nick knows how.
Yeah, I don't think
You're
know.
not the human meme here.
I think if you dabbed, your dab would suck. See? You held it too
Wait,
long,
does
man.
the proper dab go to the right or to the left?
Doesn't
I think
matter.
it's-
It goes both.
I think it goes to the right.
A dabber man can do whatever he wants.
Exactly.
My favorite dabber is Smug. He's a
Next question.
No, that's it. That's all the questions this
shit.
week. Thanks to all of our patrons for those lovely questions. Like Nick mentioned earlier, every week we post a thread on patreon.com/4player, where as long as you were a patron of the $1 tier or higher, you can ask us any question
That's
you want.
$1 a month, and that goes towards helping us reach some community-wide goals. Right now, we're working towards getting some new headphones that'll help us keep the audio levels in this podcast more under control. But like I said, $1 a month is all it takes. That helps us reach that goal, and you can ask us any question you want on a weekly basis, and we'll answer it on the podcast.
Yep.
All right, guys, it's time to wrap up the
Yes.
show. 4-player minute. You know how it
Finally.
works: hype, sweat, thank you, and fuck you, or any combination thereof. Brad,
Yeah.
why
I
don't you
got a
start
bunch
us
of
off?
hypes and a sweat. My first hype is for Return of the Oberdin, which I think came out today. It's the new game from Lucas Pope, the creator of Papers, Please, and I hear it's pretty fucking dope, and it's got a really cool visual style. I'm kind of excited to try it. My next hype is Hitman 2. We were talking about a little bit about that earlier, and it got me really excited. The fact that it's a full new, like, this is the first real full Hitman game that I want to play since Blood Money, really, because Absolution doesn't exist. And that last one was like weird, but I'm excited. It's gonna be cool. My next hype is for Tetris Effect, which is coming out at the early November, so very soon, with PSVR support, and it's a Mizuguchi game, so it's just gonna be an experience to behold. What are y'all doing?
He just got me.
My next hype is for a game that I don't see a lot of people talking about. Maybe I don't know enough about it, and maybe I shouldn't be excited. But I watched some gameplay footage of the Witcher Tales or whatever, Thronebreaker, which is like it's a Gwent game, but it is a single player game where you play a character, you explore a world. Now it's kind of this isometric view, but it is still like the Witcher world. You play as what? Gotcha. But like, is that what y'all are doing? Is that what y'all are, like? You were so distracted because you wanted me to do that because I just
I'm
looked at
distracted.
it.
It doesn't take any effort to make you.
So
Well, Nick, the thing is, it has to be below your belt. Otherwise,
so
it doesn't count.
Thronebreaker is like a full on
His knee's above his belt.
Sorry, Brad.
Thronebreaker is like a full on single player game. It's like fully voice acted. You play Meve, like who's like the queen of Rivia, and who's a character in the book. She's really cool, and you're like making decisions. It's almost kind of Banner Saga-y, and you're getting into like combat, but combat is Gwent. And
I like Gwent.
Like the presentation's impressive. It looks really cool. I think I'm gonna play this. I wasn't into like the other Gwent game because it was all multiplayer, but this actually seems pretty damn dope. I watched some footage and I think I'm gonna get it.
Cool.
And finally, my sweat is for the Haunting of Hill House.
The Haunting of Hill House. Yeah.
That show on Netflix because I'm watching it and I think it's pretty good, but
Netflix and Haunt.
I don't do well with ghosts in houses specifically.
I live in a house.
It's like a bad combination.
What if it was a ghost out in the woods?
What are you talking about?
I go to
Ghosts in houses are a classic combo.
That is true.
It's bad. It's I don't do well with this. I go to sleep
Nick,
before my
the
wife,
thing
so
with,
I'm like
with
in my
Ghosts in the
room,
Woods is
scared.
you can just run away.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You can't run away from ghosts.
Yeah, but
That's
still,
debatable.
like,
Yeah, you totally can.
Yeah.
Most manifestations are centered on a specific point.
but there's something so much creepier about the ghost that's, you know how you don't close your door?
Yep.
Yeah, don't look at that tonight. Trust me.
Wait, are you talking about episode 4?
No,
I'm
don't look at the
talking
open
about
door.
There's probably
when
a
you're
spooky
laying
figure
down to go to
standing
bed
there.
tonight, don't look in your doorway.
Oh, I know. They do a really good job.
There's a ghost
They're-
People will be standing
in your
there.
house, Nick.
Oh my god, dude!
Right now.
The ghost they introduced in episode 4 would just
It's cool.
It
It's
fucked
cool.
me
It's
up.
the ghost of one of the contractors that built your condo 3 years ago.
God damn it!
Brad, you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
My 4-player minute starts now. My hype is obviously for Red Dead. I mean, come on, like just all the shit. I mean, I don't agree with some of the overworked stuff, but I am fucking excited for that. Bring on the 105 gig install. Like, let's fucking do it, man. My sweat is for Odyssey, specifically playing it via Project Stream. I want to play the game, but I don't think if it stays in the state it is on Project Stream, I can continue. The frame rate is just a little too low for me. If it was at least a constant 30, I'm pretty sure I could do it. Anything below that, it's just too inconsistent. My thank you is going to go to the community. I've been getting a lot of help during my streams lately, a lot of advice on stuff with Frostpunk, and people like talking with people about Assassin's Creed, just kind of in general. I did stream some of that the other day. I appreciate y'all being there for me. And then my fuck you is going to go to 11-Bit Studios. I could not see the end of Frostpunk, The Fall of Winterhome. I really wanted to see that fucking ending cutscene, and I tried like 3 times and I couldn't fucking see it.
Maybe try loading it on do you have like a laptop that could run it or something? Like,
I don't know.
Let me ask you this: now that you're done with Frostpunk and you really enjoyed it, you know the previous game was This War of Mine. Have you ever played much of that?
I've played maybe like an hour of it.
It's got similar themes and stressful positions you're put in.
Yeah.
So you might like it.
Yeah, I know. All right, that's it.
Also, their
Krispy.
anomaly games are pretty cool.
My first of several hypes this week goes to Skin Deep. The new Brendan Chung / Blendo Games game.
What did you get out of that trailer? Because I didn't get anything.
It looks
out of
fucking cool. First of all, the gun mechanics look very similar to Receiver, if you remember that, which was very much built on like full range of movement with a gun and like kind of believable controls, so you could do things like manually work the slide. You had to take the fucking magazine out, manually load bullets in, work the safety, like all that kind of shit was cool. Plus, there was also like a bunch of other like it looks like it's gonna be a stealth game primarily, and there was a lot of cool ideas like the whole you have to like hold your sneezes and stuff, so like your character will have to sneeze and shit.
That's
I see the
crazy.
sneeze bar.
Yeah. And then at the end of the trailer, there was a really disgusting part where he was like having to manually pull glass out of his foot after like stepping on glass.
Why would you step on glass?
I don't know.
This actually does look
All
pretty
I know
cool.
is that every one of his games that I've played, I have loved, like on a very emotional level. So I can't wait to try this new one. Hopefully,
He puts out games so regularly, though. You know, he released. I think it was this year. He released Flotilla 2. Maybe that was last year for VR.
Yeah.
Which
I saw
Flotilla
that.
was like
Yeah.
a really cool
Flotilla
game,
was
and it's
dope.
perfect for VR.
yeah. I wish. Yeah, I would really like to play Flotilla
just
too. Plus, he's been
Quadrilateral
working on that
Cowboys, yeah.
Sub Rosa game for like forever now with other people, I think. But yeah, it looks fucking like I really like him as a designer, and I
Yeah, he's dope.
I'm always excited to hear that he's working on something new. My other hype is obviously for Red Dead Redemption 2, but that kind of ties into my sweat in that I'm at this point now where like I'm almost more excited about the online aspect.
Yeah.
Than I am. Like the single player is going to be amazing, and I can't wait to play that. But like, I just want to know what the fuck's going on with online.
I don't think it's going to be available at launch, right?
It's not.
It's not. No,
it's going to be a little
like
while
post
before
thing.
it is. Yeah.
So like
Probably not even
I'm
this year.
I'm kind of like nervous about what it's going to entail. I'm playing Grand Theft Auto 5 right now, which is like
It's so good.
It is good, but like jumping into it, like at this point, like it seems it's like really impenetrable. Like I don't know what the fuck is going on, or like what like and playing it alone is really weird. And I just kind of hope that like
it's tough to play the GTA's online alone. If you get a crew going and you have like, I'm assuming you don't have your own business in the game yet.
No.
Yeah, because that can be tough. You do need a lot of money down to get those things, and so when you're doing it by yourself early on, it's tough. And so it makes things a lot easier when you have a crew, just because you can earn money faster in a safer fashion. And so yeah, I can imagine. I assume you're playing on PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I played all of mine. I say not all, a majority of mine on PC multiplayer. And so it's tough to just jump in, especially this late. There's so many people out there. You have played hundreds of hours.
It's weird. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be different joining but I like at the same time, like you get a really charged like day one experience. I don't know the life of GTA Online, like what it is compared to what it was or anything like that. But I would hate for Red Dead to be like this really big, interesting, like kind of unique online space, and then like it just fizzle out after a month. You know?
I don't know.
That'd
I
be
don't think
really-
it will. I remember having a lot of fun playing
We'll see.
with the multiplayer. We should all squad.
My
up on
other
it.
sweat with that is just like install and download size, because
Yeah.
they're saying it's like 100 gig install. They're saying it's a day one patch that's like 80 gigs or something. And there's no word whatsoever whether or not like the online components that are coming later are part of that, or if there's going to be another like huge update you have to install once they launch that shit.
With the 100
I just
gig,
don't think my fucking PlayStation.
with the 100 gig install, do you need to have like 200 gigs free?
So no, for the digital version, it's 99 install, and then you think you need an extra 50 gigs during the install process.
Yeah.
But I think if you're doing it off a disc, you don't need the extra space. So it's just like I think on PS4 it's 99 gigs, and it's like 107 on Xbox One.
Yeah.
Is what I've heard.
Yeah, I saw that today.
So I got the game digitally, mainly because I get to preload it. So my that was kind of one of my fears going in. That was my big debate on how I was going to get the game, is because when I got Spider-Man, there was a 45 gig install, and it took 40 minutes.
Yeah.
This 100 gig install is clearly going to take almost 2 hours to install.
That's why I decided to, because we're doing the podcast next Thursday. I'm not gonna start playing the game until Friday, because I'm gonna do the stream on Friday morning. So I know I'm not gonna be able to play it before 9. So I was like, I'll just get the disc and install it overnight. It's not gonna be a huge deal one way or the other. Sorry, Chris, do you have more?
I got a hype. I got one more hype, and that's for, as I think Brad mentioned, for the Return of the Obra Dinn, which comes out today. I'm gonna go home and play it right after the show.
Sweet. All right. My 4-player minute is also full of hypes. It's a lot to be hyped about right now. First one being, this is also kind of inadvertently Halloween themed. My first hype is actually going to be for Halloween, which the movie. I'm going to see it tomorrow night, and I'm very, very excited. I've been hearing great things about it. I'm a fan of the franchise, despite its been rocky, I think, for most of the series. But like the first one's still really great. I still like the last one that Jamie Lee Curtis was not. I guess that wasn't the last one. H2O I liked a lot.
the last one she was in.
She was actually in that one called Halloween Resurrection. The one that had Busta Rhymes in it.
Oh, Jesus.
But like this new one is basically
Also Tyra Banks.
Also Tyra Banks was in that one. That one actually wasn't the worst, but like it just kind of like spit in the face of like everything they did with Halloween H2O, which was meant to be like a conclusion to the thing.
It's almost like a horror classic that shouldn't have ever become a series.
Yeah, but this one is actually exciting. It's getting good reviews, and it's also treating it like none of the other movies besides the first one ever happened. So it's just kind of like this is a direct sequel to the first one, and I think they're taking a pretty good approach to it, and it looks cool. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing that tomorrow night. My second hype goes for watching more of The Haunting of Hill House. I'm about 4 episodes in, and that show is paced kind of beautifully. Like it focuses so much on family drama that like when something spooky or when a ghost does pop up, it's like it's really refreshing.
They're like metaphors, Krispy.
Crispy's taking a really weird stance on this show because everybody's talking about it
On what?
on the show. Like you seem like really skeptical.
No. I am not listening to a word you're saying. Brad sent me a link that I'm looking at that I'm kind
Oh!
of reacting to. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Wait,
that's
what
weird.
did you
Go ahead.
see that's so
Go ahead.
reactable?
Continue. Let's just finish the show.
I might have sent you the wrong one.
Check out Haunting of Hill House. It's pretty damn good. It's on Netflix. Also on Netflix, I'm excited for, and also partially worried about, is this third season of Daredevil comes out tonight.
Yup.
In fact, it's probably going to be out in like 5 minutes. I have a lot of Assassin's Creed Odyssey to get
Really?
through.
Whoa.
Um,
I didn't know that stuff was still coming out. Daredevil, huh?
Yeah, Daredevil is still pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to watching that. Robin's going to be out of town for a lot of this week, so I'm going to either playing Assassin's Creed or watching Daredevil, probably just going back and forth between those two things.
Daredevil's pretty good. Iron Fist, not
It
so
got
much.
canceled, right?
Yeah.
Iron Fist got canceled
You
after
could
2
get a
seasons.
bunch of Valkyria in this weekend.
That's not going to happen until after I finish Red Dead, man. I don't know what to tell you. Not that I don't want to. You know that, right? I would love to play more Valkyria. Just priorities, man. Priorities. And my last hype is going to be for our Halloween Spooktacular on Saturday. There is a lot of stuff we have on the dock, a lot of cool games that we're going to be playing, a lot of VR stuff that we've never played. We're going to be playing some cool stuff like Visage, which is kind of a spiritual successor to PT. What are some of the VR games we're going to have, Brad? Come on, help me out here. Paranormal Activity. Come on, help me out. There's others. We have like
The
4 or 5 now.
Persistence?
The Persistence. Man,
I have a
we have
horrible memory.
we have a list of like 10, 12 games, maybe
least.
more. And we're gonna be starting at noon, going through till at least midnight, probably beyond that. Playing nothing but horror games. So tune in for that. It should be a lot of fun. We'll be doing that at noon on this coming Saturday.
Henry's
going to
make an appearance.
Henry will, in full costume, right?
In full costume.
Full costume. So check that out. We'll be live at noon on Saturday, October 20th. So hope to see you guys there. And with that said, I think we're done with the show.
Yep.
Thank you guys very much for watching, for listening. 4playernetwork.com is, of course, the website. You can also find all of our podcasts on Spotify, on iTunes, on SoundCloud, all that stuff. So subscribe if you haven't already. We'd really appreciate it. If you can find us on Discord, discord.gg/4player. It's a great place to keep in touch with us, with the community, talk about games, talk about all kinds of crazy shit. I've learned so much from being in Discord. It's so hard to like miss stuff when you're a part of an active Discord community. Like everyone's talking about everything that is covered. Like if there's a new exciting movie or TV show or game or whatever, it's being talked about in Discord. So so join us in there. And of course, like we mentioned several times tonight, if you want to support us financially in any way, we'd appreciate it. You can find us at patreon.com/4player. And with that said, I think that's a wrap. So thanks for listening, and we'll catch you guys next Thursday night for yet another episode of 4Player Podcast. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.